All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour one of Jon and Jim. We're with you until 6 p.m. We'll get you ready for the Padres. They'll play game one of a series in Cincinnati within the hour. Tim Haggerty, great play-by-play voice of the Padres AAA affiliate, will check in on the Padres farmhands. Tim Haggerty will join us coming up at 3:30. This is Jim's last show as a single man.
Correct, John.
All right, so Jim is getting married on Saturday. If you have marriage advice for Jim, because you can't provide it to him before he gets married. This is his last show.
Yeah.
Jon and Jim, wrap-up show. It's all me. It's all me solo from here on out. If you have any advice for Jim as he takes that massive step, I mean, it's a big step. Kind of like one small step for Jim and other, you know what I mean. 877-767-4760 or 70470. Start it with team. Your final show as a single man. You are getting married on Saturday. Are you ready for your final show? I mean, everything changes after this, man.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I never understood, like, before someone's wedding, you say, man, this is your final day before as a single man.
As if you could like go out with like the guys and just stay out all night.
Like, I'm not single. I'm engaged.
Oh, I forgot.
So that's always a weird thing to me.
So it's kind of the same.
Said. It's kind of the same.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of moving parts, a lot of things happening. Like, my car is completely filled up to the top of the roof there with wedding stuff.
Got you.
I had to go get a cashier's check today to pay our final payment to the wedding venue. That was not fun.
Because it costs some money.
Yeah, because that was a lot of money to take out. And the parents are coming into town today. We're driving to Oceanside after the show tonight.
So you don't think it'll feel different once you've tied the knot in front of friends and family after all the preparation for this, a year in the making, Aaron, the dress, nothing's going to be different come Monday?
She got her dress today and she brought it home. I didn't see it, but
I hope not.
I don't want to look at it.
Against the rules.
She has it up in our room, so the dress is like with us.
You make a good point, though. Nothing really does change. Like, if you live with your significant other before a wedding,
like, what is it?
And then you still live with her after the wedding.
The only time you could, I feel, say it's your last day as a single man is before like 90 Day Fiance or Married at First Sight.
Right. It's like, right. Your last day as a single man was before you guys decided to date each other.
Yeah. My last day as a single man was
the date before Aaron.
June. Yeah. Sorry. Was June 24th, 2022.
That's when you guys met? That was the first date?
Our first date was June 25th.
It was June 25th, 2022. So you guys haven't even known each other for 2 years?
No. I know. It's crazy.
Do you know everything you need to know about each other? Like, she probably doesn't even know like your middle name.
She knows my middle name.
I don't know your middle name.
Yeah,
and I'm officiating the wedding.
You know my middle name.
Aaron.
That's not my middle name.
Oh, no, it's her first name.
Aaron Lynn Gaynor. I am James Albert Russell.
I didn't know that.
That's very weird. It is very weird.
If you have marriage advice, 70470, start it with team.
Are you ready for the wedding?
No,
that's a more important
thing.
question.
I'm honestly not. Officiating your wedding, I was going through like the speech earlier today.
Oh boy.
It's a little it makes me nervous just thinking about it, truthfully.
I finished up my vows last night and I was like reading them over and over and over again.
See, I haven't done that yet.
And I feel even like after reading them, I'm like, is this good enough? Like, is that
what do you mean good enough? Like, they're good enough, dude. You've spent a lot of time.
I know. I spent a lot of time
You're
on it.
You're basically like, Aaron, I like you and stuff. Aaron, your dog is cool and all that.
Right. I like you. You're cool. You're good looking. And
you're cool and you're good looking. Those are my vows.
Yeah. My vows.
I'll be honest with you, because I don't think Kristen and I, or me and Kristen, did our vows like out loud at our wedding. What are they supposed to entail? Like, what's a good vow? Give me an example. What is a vow? What you promise?
Here's one line in my vow.
Ooh, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Turn down your radio if you're going to the wedding. Darren. Marty.
Yeah. Don't listen.
Turn it down.
I promise to always make our marriage a priority. That's like
other than wrap-up show, Jon and Jim. If Jon texts me, if
49ers playoff games,
hurt, if the Niners are down 3-0 to the Eagles in week 2, if the Warriors make a trade, if I have a brand new video game system, if college football has a new video game. But other than that,
how'd you know that was in my vows?
You should drop something like that,
dude. No, there's a couple like lines in there that me and her will like get.
I hope so.
There's a couple that are kind of like might get a little bit of a reaction from the crowd, but
are there any jokes in there?
There's one joke in there, but it's like it's something that actually happened, and I think people would get a kick out of it.
Okay.
But
are we going to film this? There's a videographer.
There's nobody needs to film because there's a videographer. There's two.
Yeah, but I need content for Monday.
I know
we play
you do.
the fouls back?
Well, I'm sure like Darnay will be doing something like, oh, look at Jim or something like that. There will be some people out there that will be filming or taking pictures or whatever, but content will be available soon. Don't worry.
Okay.
I know if people are like, stream the show, stream the wedding on YouTube. That's not going to happen, but
be here Monday, full reaction.
Be here Tuesday because we have Monday off.
Okay, well, be here Monday though. We won't be here, but then also join us Tuesday at 3 p.m. All right. What team am I talking about here? What a difference a year makes. This is from Kevin Acey. And if you missed him with Darren earlier today, sportssd.com. This is from Kevin Acey and his like daily emailer. We should have a daily emailer that Jim writes. They'll be like, Padres are cool and stuff. Okay, what team are we talking about here, Jim? Okay.
Tell me.
His team has won 5 of 6 series.
Okay.
11 of 18.
Okay.
Has more 4 or more run comebacks than anyone in baseball.
Okay.
Has more 4 or more run innings than anyone in baseball.
Okay.
Has had more 2-base advancement on singles than any team in baseball.
It's a random stat.
But it shows their aggressiveness. I kind of actually like it. I don't like as in first to third, second to home. Has more 2-base advancement than any team in baseball.
What is the New York Yankees?
No, wrong. Now this is from Kevin's article.
Oh. What is the San Diego Padres?
Correct.
Oh my gosh, I love this team.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So Kevin loves this team. Schulte loves this team. I went all in on this team. They lost 3 straight to the Rockies. They've since played very well. I mean, this doesn't sound like the Padres, does it? Well, 4-run innings, come from behind wins, 5 series wins in their last 6 tries, aggressive on the bases. What a difference a year makes, Jim?
They're 25 and 25.
Oh, yeah. There's that too. Well, that's the other side of the coin. Yeah, you're right. 100%.
Those stats
right
are all better than they were last year.
Way better.
Way better. Night and day. Not even comparable.
Yep.
And you might even have lesser talent on this team, which is a credit to the players on this team for producing and helping put up those types of numbers. They're 25 and 25. I would feel a lot better. And that doesn't mean I don't feel good because I still feel good about this team. But I would feel a lot better about this team if they continue to play this, don't have a slip up here, and by the end of the month, they're like 3, 4, 5 games over 500. That's going to be tough because you got to play some really good baseball the next week here versus the Reds, the Yankees, the Marlins, and you face the Royals for, I think, 1 game to end the month. But
man, you spent more time with the schedule than the Vows, apparently.
Oh, no.
What time's that Royals game?
It's 6:40, John.
Is that a home game?
Yeah, it's a home game. No, it's a road game.
Okay, yeah, but wow, this is unbelievable. You have the schedule.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
I love this team.
Yeah, Ryan Weathers is going to be pitching next Tuesday.
So what you're telling, I honestly, I know what you're saying, that it means something to you if it results in wins.
Correct.
It doesn't mean anything. It's like the Ohtani Trout days. For the first time in baseball history, Ohtani and Trout have both hit 4 home runs in the game in an Angels 9-8 loss.
Exactly.
So, like, yeah, it sounds great. It's the first time in baseball history anyone's done this, but the Angels keep losing.
Like, oh my God, Shohei Ohtani just posted a 12-war season. They won 76 games.
They won 11 games. Like, wait, what?
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah, okay, but what I would say is over 162, the odds are in your favor that good, encouraging trends result in more wins than losses. And maybe I'm wrong. 50 games is a big sample size. And you're right. They are 25 and 25, despite all the 4-run innings, 11 and 7 in the last 18 games, all the series wins here recently. Man, nobody's moving from first to third more than the Padres are. It's not resulting in wins necessarily. Man, this team moves from first to third, don't they?
Oh, what kind of stat is that?
I don't know, but when I saw it, I had to read it twice. I'm like, I like that.
I'm sorry. I just never think
who's tracking that
about first to third stats.
It was not just first to third. I think it's second to home.
What are we doing
Is
here?
it just first to third? Their runners on first and or second base advance 2 bases on singles more than any other team.
Okay.
Which is good for a team that only hits singles. They hit a lot of singles, don't they? They love their singles.
Not a power hitting team.
Right? So you're saying that this is maybe fool's gold because they're 25 and 25?
No. I don't think that is fool's gold.
Okay.
I don't think those stats are like hollow, or the first to third stuff is very weird, and it's just a weird stat to even bring up, honestly. But
Padres go first to third 3 times and 8-4 loss.
Yeah, what? Right. Who cares? Awesome.
Right.
But I think that their offensive numbers are real.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are something to be very encouraged about. It's just you sit here and you're like, okay, if you continue to do this, are you going to break away from that 500 mark and get a little bit of separation here and start playing like a team like a top 10 offensive team in baseball? And you still have pretty good pitching.
Yep.
Or are you going to continue to have these peaks and valleys types of season where you play really good baseball for a stretch and then you lose 4 or 5?
Stay tuned, I would say. So as we know, you talked about, I think in your update, Joe Musgrove returns tonight, right? In Cincinnati, this team has lost, 15 of 18? Maybe it's 15 of 19. I thought it was 15 of 18. Yeah. But whatever it is, I mean, the Musgrove pitching game log leaves a lot to be desired this year. It just does. Now, he's coming off his best outing of the year. Unfortunately, we haven't seen him since May 1st. That's when he went 6 innings, struck out 9, didn't walk a batter. That was against Cincinnati. That was against Cincinnati. But, Jim, here's the part about Musgrove that's so confounding. This year, the outing before, 3 2/3 innings. There was a 4-inning outing this year. There was a 2 2/3 inning outing this year against the Dodgers. When you think about Joe Musgrove as a Padre, you think about a guy who gives you 6 innings. He gives you length. He keeps you in a game. It's not always 6 innings, 1 run, but 6 innings, 3 runs. He's had 3 or 4 of his 7 or 8 starts. He's been going 3 innings, 4 innings, 2 2/3 innings. What are we going to see? What are we going to see tonight? It's a huge question mark. We haven't seen him in 3 weeks. Is he healthy or not? I guess we'll find out here tonight against the Cincinnati Reds, a team he pitched really well against the last time he faced them 3 weeks ago.
I am fine. I feel good about where Joe potentially could be because he got an extra day because of the rain out. I didn't hurt him at all. Like, giving this guy more rest, I think is kind of good.
2 days, right?
2 days.
He's going to pitch Sunday?
Yeah. So extra couple days of rest here. I will believe him for now. I will believe the team that it was just precautionary, even though I do have a little bit of concern still because two times you got on the IL the last 2 years has been because of an arm injury.
Correct.
Shoulder last year, elbow inflammation this year. So I don't see how you can be like 100% totally confident in Joe.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be at least some reservation there and some worry that, I hope he's okay. And we'll find out. If Joe goes out there and pitches all of a sudden like Yu Darvish has coming off the IL, okay, we're good. But at any moment, things could happen. And that's just baseball. That's just sports. And that's kind of how Joe's injuries have been. It just happened out of nowhere. Like he pitched a great game versus the Reds, boom, all of a sudden he's on the IL. I think last year kind of was the same situation. He ended his season pitching really well, and then out of the blue was like, oh yeah, Joe Musgrove's on the IL with a shoulder problem.
Yep.
And you're like, huh? So it comes out of nowhere, and there is a little bit of concern, and you just hope that he gets through these starts healthy, and then you hope he gets through these starts pitching well.
It's so fun. Health, okay? Like every team knows it going in. And this is why depth is important. AJ Preller's talked about it with Darren. I think at some point in the last couple of weeks right here on San Diego Sports 760. I think he said something along the lines of good teams have depth. And you see the way the Padres have kind of added here and there, not just via trade with the marquee trades like Luis Arraez, but even adding a piece like Donovan Solano, who's in a lineup today because Xander Bogaerts is out. Let's get an update. I think a lot of this here, we know Bogaerts has struggled. One of the big takeaways of the Atlanta series was, you won the series 3 out of 4, but you lost Xander Bogaerts to an apparent shoulder injury. So Mike Schilt has spoken with the media within the last 15 or so minutes in front of this game in Cincinnati. Here's Schilt on Bogaerts, Jeremiah Estrada, and more.
Yeah, nothing really new from yesterday, quite honestly. There's going to be some more imaging taking place at some point, probably going on now, quite candidly. And then we will know more at that point.
What have been your initial impressions of Jeremiah Estrada and his ability to perform now being tested at a higher level?
Yeah, Jeremiah's got, the one thing that I have many appreciate about some of the analytic things and the measurables is it clarifies what our eyes can tell us. He's got a really good fastball. He's got an elite fastball with a lot of life to it. So he's got an outlier pitch in that. He's starting to throw his secondary pitches for more strikes. So you got two weapons in the strike zone, and that's going to be the key to his game. Is being in that strike zone and controlling counts.
It'll be great to see Joe Musgrove back on the mound today. What are your expectations for him in terms of whatever you can share with us?
Yeah, no, I mean, shoot, Joe Musgrove's back, man. It's a good day, right? We're excited about Joe. Listen, we'll let the game dictate a little bit. I mean, he's not clearly going to be built up to, 90 again. He hadn't thrown since his last outing, but we'll evaluate the number of pitches as the game goes.
Now, when it comes to Manny and his ability to deliver in clutch situations, even when he's kind of going through a bit of a skid, as we've seen, how have you seen him really just been able to perform as a vet, especially as he's fighting back from injury?
I tell you, the thing that's been most impressive has been the other things that Manny's done that maybe we don't appreciate as much and I don't talk about as much. And, he's gone out and played really good defense for us since he's been back, which we'd expect him to do, but he's done a nice job with that. He's run the bases very well. He's made some really good base running plays that have helped contribute to us winning games. So he's doing some of the intangible things that, we always appreciate and look at the fact that, he's got a slug and he's got to hit homers and all these different things. But from my seat, guys who help you win baseball games is all that ultimately matters. And he's been able to do a lot of the little things well.
Who knew Cincinnati was such a club scene in the middle of the afternoon?
Yeah, it's bumping in the Natty. Who knew?
Schilt loves to talk about the team running bases. Maybe that's why Kevin had that in his daily today.
He also likes defense. Remember, wasn't it a defensive clinic when they got swept by the Phillies earlier this year? We put on a defensive clinic. Mike, you lost 9-1, but it was a defensive clinic, man. We loved everything.
Man, we run the bases better than any team I've ever coached and managed my entire life.
Yeah.
We're a base running juggernaut.
Did you hear the stat? Nobody's going first to third more than the Padres are.
Where do you think that came from, John? It's pretty easy to put 2 and 2 here together.
Right. It was on Mike's desk. Hey, we go first to third more than anyone else. You want to?
Yeah, you want to use that for the article, Kevin?
Oh, my gosh.
We had this, there was this question in there about Manny's clutchness, being clutch. We talked a little bit about it yesterday. He had a big time clutch moment versus the Braves yesterday morning, which ended up being the game-winning runs. And that was fantastic, especially for a guy that's struggling as much as he has this year.
I agree.
To have that big moment late in that game.
I think it could be big.
To secure that series win, right? Winning the first 3 there. And you're just like, okay, thank God. You just kind of feel like you can breathe a little bit. But I will continue to push back. There needs to be more. 1 is not good enough. Even 2. Manny's hitting in the middle of this order every single day. He's back to the cleanup spot right now. Him with runners in scoring position this year, John, he's hitting 216. Okay. To me, not really great with the 645 OPS with runners in scoring position.
But he's running the bases.
He's running the bases better than anybody out there right now. He's amazing.
The funny thing is his clutch hitting is his hitting this year, right? Because what is he, a 220-something hitter? And he's a 216 hitter overall. What is he on the year?
On the year,
higher
John,
than 220-something?
he's hitting 230 on the year, John.
So he has been a little better in non-clutch situations. But I guess the point is, who he has been as a hitter this year is just he hasn't been a good hitter, and he hasn't been clutch. Now, have things changed? He's 5 for his last 12 in his last 3 games. Had that big hopefully. Hit. We'll find out.
And with runners in scoring position with 2 outs, he's hitting 158.
Right. The spot he came through in yesterday morning was with 1 out, which is still a huge spot. But 158 with runners in scoring position at 2 outs. All right, real quick, let's go to the phones because if you have wedding advice today for Jim Russell, you can share it with us. 70470, start your message with Team, or you can call us 877-767-4760. The texts are rolling in. Tim wants to weigh in as well. Tim, thanks for calling. You're on with Jon and Jim.
Guys, I just want to stay positive with the Padres. I think at the end of the year, we're going to be raising a banner that no one can compete with that says nobody went first to third more than.
I love that banner. Where would you put that banner?
Nobody went better first to third than the Padres.
Would you put that on the third base foul pole, like the Chick-fil-A on the?
That's in Gallagher Square, man.
Plate,
yeah,
so we can always see it on
right next to Garvey's number.
Yeah,
I like it.
In regards to the marriage advice, I have 2 pieces. 1, marriage advice: never bring home stuff from work. You might work with someone who wants to always talk about his veggie burgers and, working in minor league baseball. You don't need that negativity in your marriage.
I agree.
Keep work and your personal life separate. And then finally, wedding advice, I would say, I don't know if you've got this set up, but during your ceremony or reception, try and ban cell phones. The last thing you need is during a really pivotal part of your life, someone standing up and trying to get a selfie or getting a picture in front of, the vows or the first kiss, blocking a pivotal shot. So
right, like maybe when a player signs like a huge $280 million contract, you wouldn't want to get in the way of that.
No.
This is significant.
And potentially jinx his entire career here in San Diego.
Tim, appreciate you, man. All right, I like that.
Darnay?
I like that. Wedding advice. By the way, the whole no phone thing, I will actually be watching the Padres-Yankees game and tell Jim every 2 seconds, there's 2 on in the second inning, just to bother him. No, I won't, probably. Kristen will yell at me. Tim Haggerty, voice of the Chihuahuas. What's going on in AAA with the Padres? He will join us on the other side. Plus, today, we have a pair of tickets to see the Brothers Osborne Cal Coast Credit Union Amphitheater, May 29th. We'll give those away in the 4 o'clock hour. We're getting you ready for Padres and Reds. Tim Haggerty, voice of the Padres AAA affiliate, will join us next. All right, Tim Haggerty is the voice of the Padres AAA affiliate, the El Paso Chihuahuas. We'll get an update on what's going on the farm. The Padres just signed David Peralta. He's been playing. Tim Haggerty joins us next.
All right, this update's brought to you by AutoZone. Padres-Reds start a 3-game series in Cincinnati later this afternoon. Joe Musgrove returning to the mound for the Padres. And just one game in the NBA tonight. It's the Eastern Conference Finals, Game 1 between the Celtics and the Pacers, 5 p.m. tip-off time in Boston. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
$760 has chances for you to win bonus bucks. You up $1,000 every day this week. Listen for the keyword. Enter it at sportssd.com as the Padres get ready for the Reds. The El Paso Chihuahuas get ready for the Sacramento River Cats tonight in El Paso, Texas. Tim Haggerty, nice enough to join us once again, San Diego Sports 760, and Jon and Jim, longtime play-by-play voice of the El Paso Chihuahuas. Tim, we appreciate you joining us as always. And I know it's only been a couple of days since David Peralta was signed by the Padres and joined the team in AAA. What have you seen in his first couple of games as a Chihuahua?
Yeah, I've seen some long at-bats. You can tell why this guy's had so much success in the major leagues. There's numerous at-bats that he's up there for 9 or 10 pitches in just his 2 games for the Chihuahuas in Las Vegas. A really tough out. And as you guys probably have gotten into, he had really good numbers against the Padres over the years when playing for Arizona. And I was speaking to him. He was on a AAA deal with the Chicago Cubs with their affiliates in Iowa. And in recent years, veteran players like him are given more opt-out opportunities where at certain dates throughout the year, they could choose to become a free agent. And that's what happened to him. He's just striving to get back to the major leagues, whatever city that's with, and he hopes it's with the Padres.
Yeah, why do you think the Padres make sense for David Peralta? Because at the big league level right now, they're outfield with Jackson Merrill, Jurickson Profar, who's like the greatest left fielder in the game, and Fernando Tatis Jr., and they have the Jose Zocar, who is a very serviceable backup. Why do you think it makes sense for the Padres to have David Peralta?
I think that over the years, the Padres have really tried to keep some veteran depth here at AAA. I think maybe a month ago, you might say the same thing about the Padres infield. And then they got Donovan Solano, and there he is now on the Major League roster. So, I look at Peralta as maybe an outfield version of Solano, maybe not somebody who's going to be a starting player for you for years to come, but maybe there's also an opening. It's a long season, 162 games. A scout brought up a point that I thought was a really good one. If you're a contending team like the Padres, if a guy like Solano or Peralta, who knows, if they play just 25 games for you, well, at the end of the year, that could be the difference between a wild card spot or not. That's a job. Somebody that's going to go up there and be a capable bench player, occasional starter. It's really important to have valuable players in that spot.
Yeah, it's amazing because over the course of a year, people think, well, there's a 26-man roster. But if you add up all the players that appear on a major league team, that number far exceeds 26. A couple of guys that have already been with the Padres this year, guys like a Tom Cosgrove or a Graham Pauley, there are more. Tim Haggerty is with us right now, voice of the Padres AAA affiliate, the El Paso Chihuahuas. Let's start with Cosgrove. I know it's only been a couple of outings as well. I think for him, maybe 3-4 innings. I don't believe he has pitched well when you just look at the numbers. What are they trying to accomplish with Tom Cosgrove right now in AAA?
Yeah, I know in the afternoons he's been working in the bullpen with the pitching coaches here in El Paso, both on his fastball and on his sweeper. And the good news is, you're correct, his statistics are not good. That's based on some early appearances with El Paso where he got hit around, one of which he did not get an out in, and that really boosted up the ERA. But his most recent game in Las Vegas, he came in and he looked like the Cosgrove I saw last year. Sharp pitches, faced only 3 batters, got 2 groundouts and a strikeout. It was just a fast, 10, 11 pitch inning. It looked like he's getting back on track. And I know he struggled with San Diego this year, but as you guys know, I mean, in recent years, there have been relievers that go up and down throughout the year and pitch a lot better. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Cosgrove be back with the Padres by summertime and thriving like last year.
One player who was in El Paso this year, you're probably not going to see him again, is Jeremiah Estrada because of what he's doing at the big league level. What did you see from him down at El Paso in his time there? And, are you surprised? Are you not surprised, or are you surprised by his success right now at the big league level?
I'm not surprised. It was really fun to watch him pitch here in El Paso. The obvious thing that you see is the velocity. But in speaking to the pitching coaches here, they brought up something interesting. They were talking about carry on pitches, which is a number that you're hearing a lot more of. The way it was explained to me is, when we were kids, they used to talk about Nolan Ryan's rising fastball. Mm-hmm. But I guess scientifically, the ball isn't actually rising. What it's doing is not dropping the way most other pitchers' fastballs do. And that's what Estrada's does, is his carry is such that he'll throw a low strike that just continues carrying. It doesn't bounce. And he did that in El Paso. He got a save or 2 in El Paso. The other thing I noticed was he's a very affable, likable, almost soft-spoken guy off the air, but he looked so angry on the mound here in El Paso. I think he's somebody that, almost like a boxer walking into the ring. He takes the mound with such intensity. He didn't tell me that. That's just an observation of watching him pitch here. And I think you really want that trade out of a closer.
And what do you think that he's improved on the most? Because if you look at his numbers here, the last couple of years with Chicago and then, bouncing between the minors and the majors, it was a lot of walks, but high ERA. And in El Paso, when he was there, 20 strikeouts, 3 walks. And now at the big league level, 15 strikeouts, 4 walks, sub 1 ERA. What are some things you think he's changed over the last couple of years to make him be this high strikeout guy and what he is right now?
I think it's exactly what you said, is lowering the walks by repeating his delivery. And that's something I know the Padres organization is really focused on here. Pitchers strikeout to walk ratio. You've heard players talk about that here. That's their goal. The Pacific Coast League, there's no secret. There's a lot of high elevated parks. Fly balls carry farther here than various other parks in different parts of the country. And so with that, are you giving up a solo home run, or is it a 2-run or a 3-run home run? And the Padres have told the pitchers that they really want to limit the walks. And if you see somebody like Logan Gillespie, he is not walking players in AAA. As I glance at it, John, he has just 3 walks and 13 AAA innings compared to 11 strikeouts. And he's been called up twice. He's somebody that is now on speed dial for the Padres. And I think that's related. He's not walking hitters, and he's gone up there and gotten opportunities.
Tim Haggerty with us right now, AAA voice of the Padres, the El Paso Chihuahuas. Another name Padres fans are familiar with because he started the year in the major leagues is Graham Pauley. How has Pauley played since being sent down?
Very good. He's kind of the opposite of what we're talking about with pitchers not walking. He walks a lot as a hitter. His batting average is 265, which is solid. But then you look at the on-base percentage, it's 422. He has walked 19 times and struck out only 12 times. And he told me, even dating back to college baseball, that was his goal, was to walk more than he struck out, which hitters usually don't do, but he does. So he's also, it seems, a very relaxed, positive person, which is an important trait to have in his job. He's already gone up and down numerous times. It seems that players, I think, have a better mindset if they just accept that they might be sent back down to El Paso when they go up to the majors. Matthew Batten seems to have handled that really well the past 3 seasons. You know, it's not a lack of confidence or anything, but it's just a knowledge of your current placement on the roster, realizing they might not be there for years if they get called up. Obviously, they hope someday that that's the case, but in accepting of the situation and playing your best, whether it's in AAA or the majors.
You never saw him at El Paso, but Jackson Merrill, as a 21-year-old, is doing things that are, I think, exceeding expectations of everybody in this organization. From the what you've seen of him at the big league level, and I know you're busy with El Paso, but what you've seen of him, what do you make of Jackson Merrill's start to his young career?
I am with you. I think at the beginning of spring training, when they said that he could be on the opening day roster as an outfielder, a spot he had barely played before, I was a little bit startled, but it shows that they made the right call on this. Not just the way he plays, but I'm hearing comments from players that he's so competitive. He wants to win. It's almost like I get the vibe he's becoming a leader in his early 20s of a major league team. I didn't hear that word leader, but just kind of the vibe I get that almost the way when he does his post-game interviews, it's like the focus just is so much on winning that day's game that I think sometimes younger players might focus on their own statistics for job security, but it seems like he just gets that. It's almost like he speaks like a veteran player does, if you know what I mean.
Tim, real quick before you go, and I know you're not watching him because you're calling AAA games, but he's in single A, but I'm sure you're aware of what's going on in the organization. Ethan Salas, obviously super young, has not homered in single A Fort Wayne, is hitting 190. He has an OPS that's below 600. Are you hearing anything about Ethan Salas and the way his first half of the season is transpiring right now?
Yeah, I keep an eye on all the affiliates, and I know he's not getting as many hits as maybe people projected. But it's funny over the years, and Merrill's an example of that, actually. I think he got off to a bad start at Fort Wayne. Especially somebody like Ethan Salas, who's not from a cold weather place. Check out some of Fort Wayne's opening pitch temperatures. I mean, they began the season up in Michigan, and the temperatures were in the 30s. That's not to make an excuse, but that's hard to hit in those conditions. So I would suspect by summertime he'll be hitting better. And I think for Padres fans, don't panic on that. Major League All-Star teams are full of people that had bumps in the minor leagues. I mean, the most famous example is Derek Jeter, if you look at some of his stats, both defensively and offensively, and now he's in the Hall of Fame. So, I think that, maybe if it's September and he's still batting 190, then that would be more of a surprise. But with what he did last year, reaching Double-A at such a young age shows his natural ability.
No doubt. Of course, Derek Jeter infamously had 56 errors in his first season, I think, in minor league baseball. 56 went on to be, Derek Jeter. Tim, always appreciate it, man. Have a great call tonight. Hopefully we can do it again next month at some point in June. And thanks for joining us here in San Diego.
Sounds great. Thanks, John.
All right. Good stuff. Ethan Salas, again, I mean, you look at that. We could talk about the other side. He's played 99 career games. Professionally, Ethan Salas, he's hit 229. In the minor leagues. For again, everyone's just anointing. Sometimes you have to have a level of patience. Let the process play out.
He's 18 years old.
Is that how old he is?
He's 18 years old.
No, he's 17. He'll turn 18 June 1st.
Okay, even more my point. Like, he is very young. Let him cook.
Yeah.
Let him bake.
Give him time.
They have Luis Campusano at the big league level. They have Kyle Higashioka. They have
Brett Sullivan in the minor leagues.
Sully. in the minor leagues.
Yeah, but they need Ethan Salas.
No, they don't.
Not tomorrow?
No.
Game 2 of the series?
No.
Maybe game 3.
Again, like 3 years minimum before you see him at the big league level. You can just let him cook, let him bake.
On the other side, what makes a good major league closer? That's next. All right, what makes a good closer in Major League Baseball? Plus a ticket giveaway for you in the 4 o'clock hour. Stay with us. hour, Jim, which is one of your final 2 hours on the radio before you're married.
Correct.
Your chance to win tickets to the Brothers Osborne.
Oh,
You can celebrate your wedding
yeah.
Tuesday night or whatever May 29th is. When is that?
Next
Wednesday
Wednesday.
night. Brothers Osborne, Concourse Credit Union Amphitheater. Next Wednesday night, tickets info, ticketmaster.com. Keep listening for a chance to win. We'll give away tickets at 4:45. This is Jim's last day on the radio. Hopefully not ever. If you have wedding advice for Jim, 70470 start it with team. We'll get to some of your texts. A lot of texts have rolled in. 70470 start it with team.
Do you have any
Here's my advice.
more questions? I don't advice, whatever.
First of all, I've been married for how many years?
10.
More.
The hell you asking us for?
11 plus years. So here's what you need to do.
Congrats.
You need to get a dog.
We have one.
Okay. And you need to do dishes.
She does the dishes.
And you need to cook.
I cook.
And you need to just enjoy each other's company.
We do.
Okay, perfect.
No, we're great.
There's my advice.
Yes.
Real quick, we'll get to the text coming up next hour.
Yeah, there's some good marriage advice here. There's a lot of marriage advice here
I
on
know.
the text line.
70470 start with team. So the Padres right now are enjoying Robert Suarez, right? Does a little bit of everything.
Enjoying Robert Suarez.
Pitches in the 8th inning,
He's one
4
of,
out
the team
saves,
MVPs.
5 out saves, does whatever you want. Like you ask a question,
Suarez.
he's raising his hand, man.
Suarez.
He's not sitting in the back of the class, he's in the front row. Like he's
Suarez.
doing everything you
Give
want.
me the ball.
Right? And then there's Josh Hader. And honestly, some of it is almost like unfair to Josh Hader because I mentioned a dog earlier. I hate to make this analogy. I'm about to do it.
Oh, no.
It's a weird analogy. You know, if you're not good to a dog, do you expect the dog to be good to you? If you're not good to your dog, is the dog going to be good to you? No.
The dog's going to be scared of you, man.
So Josh Hader was essentially used by the Brewers organization. They went to arbitration with him and said, yeah, we like you a lot, but you don't have any saves. Like, well, that's because of how you're using me. And he has since used it basically to his advantage ever since. So, you know, Hader basically had rules in Milwaukee. The Padres traded for him. This is confirmed today by Buster Olney. If you missed the conversation with Darren Smith, you can find it at sportssd.com. There's an article as well at ESPN.com. There were Hader rules, and the Padres abided by them. You're not going to pitch more than back-to-back days. You're not going more than 3 outs. And by and large, you're only pitching in safe spots. And then he became a free agent, Jim. They could have made him an offer. They didn't make him an offer. So I guess my question is this. Are you mad at Hader or are you mad at the game? The Brewers did this to Hader. They took him to arbitration and said, this is why we won't give you what you're worth. And then Hader used it against the Brewers and the rest of Major League Baseball until he became a free agent.
I think I'd blame the Brewers first for making what's that movie, Brent? It's like You Made Me, or I forget what movie it is, but the Brewers,
you know that movie, Brent?
Stop.
You Made Me.
The Brewers made Josh Hader.
Yes.
And so you're going to have to just accept what Josh Hader was. But I do think that this sheds more light on the situations because there are a lot of times it was like doesn't know what he's doing. I can't believe Bob didn't use Josh Hader here. Bob his hands were tied. He was handcuffed. He couldn't do it. You know how many times I bet you Bob Melvin maybe looked over to his coaching staff and was like, man, I wish we could use Josh Hader there. Probably a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a lot. But he couldn't. And instead, you were given Luis Garcia a bunch of times. And we all know what happened there. So I do blame the Brewers first. But it is interesting. Did the Padres know about these rules before they trade? They did?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. They elected before trading for him to abide by the rules. This is Preller's baby. It's a good point. There was so much criticism towards Melvin. If you want to be critical of anyone, AJ Preller knew what he was trading for. Now, this guy had some big moments.
He did. He
as a
was
Padre.
Great in the 2022 postseason.
Right.
And
40 saves last year for an 80-win team.
Yeah, all-star, even though down the stretch he's like, why am I going out there?
Pennant
We're
race.
in a playoff race.
A playoff race.
Playoff race. Give me a break.
And now, by the way, the rules are off. Since signing with Houston, I know they suck.
Yeah.
The rules are off. They use him in different ways. He got his $100 million.
Yeah. And
so the rules are off.
So it's basically, here's my rules until I get paid.
Exactly.
Can you blame him, really?
That's the thing. It's like relievers get taken advantage of. Most relievers in baseball make the minimum.
I am much happier with Robert Suarez.
Yeah, definitely.
Because 1, he got paid. 2, he's not a $100 million closer. 3, he is lights out. And 4, he'll go in whenever he's asked to go in. There's no, Sworry rules.
Right. Not yet.
Not yet.
The weird thing for me was that when that playoff series came around and he didn't go in for that 4-out save,
Yep.
the Padres just kind of seemed like they just dropped it all of a sudden. It's like, oh yeah, he doesn't do that, to where they didn't make it sound like they knew ahead of time that this was probably not going to be something that was going to happen. But then they just decided to just kind of drop it like, oh, hey, we had no idea that he wasn't, down to do more than, X amount of outs for a save. And it's like, well, you actually did. You knew the entire time that he was here, and now you're kind of playing dumb.
During trade negotiations, he and his agent asked that his usage guidelines remain intact.
Okay.
Can't be more plain than that. So the Padres, it's like you buy a car, like you know about that car. You bought it. You went in, you test drove it. If that car doesn't do what that other car does, you can't. It's kind of on you. You bought it. Padres made this trade. It has good and bad. There was a lot of good. It wasn't perfect.
So,
I'd argue Suarez, because of his usage, because of his availability. And of course, he's been unbelievable.
mm-hmm.
But because of his availability, I'd argue I'd rather have the player that's available. But the Padres knew what they were getting.
So hindsight here, John, would you still have made that trade?
Yes. Agreed? Because look what because 2022, without Hader, yeah, you had Sworry, and he was really good.
But you needed like another.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, maybe they would have traded for someone else, but I think I'm making that trade, aren't you?
Of course I am.
Yeah.
How
many other NLCSs have we seen in the last 25 years?
None. Well,
no, none. In the last 25 years, there's one since 98.
He was a huge part in beating the Dodgers. Would you agree on that?
A huge, absolutely massive.
Okay, so
massive.
Then that alone right there is worth the trade.
It. I agree with you.
Now, like, was it one of those situations where it bugged me that there was these rules? Absolutely.
Man, what bugged us is we didn't really know all the particulars,
because they were never going to be truthful about it.
Right.
It only was going to come out later. And for Josh Hader, it was because you knew what the rules were, and there's nothing anybody could do about it. We're sitting here arguing like, why didn't Bob Melvin bring in Josh Hader in the 8th inning for a 4-out save
when it wasn't even available?
When he wasn't even available for 4 outs.
Next hour, we have Brothers Osborne tickets that we will give away, plus the wrap on the other side. It's hour 2 of Jon and Jim, and it's next.
All right, this update is brought to you by the San Diego Rescue Mission. Reds Padres underway, game 1 of their 3-game series, scoreless in the top of the second inning there. And NBA basketball tonight, the Eastern Conference Finals gets underway. Celtics take on the Pacers in game 1 in Boston, 5 p.m. tip-off time in that one. Last chance, your gift to the San Diego Rescue Mission by May 31st will be matched up to $100,000. Double your impact and give hope to local men, women, and children experience homelessness with your gift at sdrescue.org. Help people get off the streets permanently at sdrescue.org.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Hour 2, Jon and Jim. This hour, your chance to win tickets to see the Brothers Osborne at the Calcoast Credit Union Amphitheater, May 29th. We'll give those away coming up this hour. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. We're taking your wedding advice for Jim on our text line. We'll get to some of those coming up. Let's say 4:30, Jim. So get your advice in. 70470. Start it with the word team. Has anyone shared like some deep advice at home, like mom,
No,
dad,
no,
Aaron?
no, none,
No one.
nothing.
Okay, so it's kind of like when you have a kid, they just like send you home with the kid and there's no manual,
Yeah,
no book,
nothing there.
nothing. It's just like, this is your child. You got to figure it out.
Don't drop it.
That's right.
Yeah, don't drop it. Your wedding day.
Yeah.
What things on your wedding day do you either wish you did differently or wish you didn't do? Or
Now you got married in Happy Valley.
I did.
Now was it like but was it like
Yeah.
20 other couples and it was like a group wedding, or did you all have to take turns?
No,
Or
this wasn't some like minor league promotion. I like that though. No.
well, I didn't know if I didn't think
no.
you guys knew enough people. You'd sell up Beaver Stadium for your wedding.
No. But we were
20 other
we were
people.
married in Pennsylvania. And the one thing that I would say that you should think about, you got to eat.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's very overwhelming. Everyone wants to talk.
Here, let me, because I've looked up some stuff.
Oh, you've looked this up.
Like for things to make sure you do on your wedding day. Number 1 was eat food.
Eat. Make sure Aaron is happy.
Well, yeah.
That's number 1.
Stay with Aaron the entire night.
Yeah,
like,
stay
don't
with Aaron the
separate.
entire night, and make sure to at least visit every table and like spend. You have to at least try to speak. You're not having a 300-person wedding.
No.
So when you're having a 100-person wedding, you need to at least try to speak with as many people as you can, which is hard. 100 people is a lot of people.
And one thing we're going to try and do is knock out all the pictures beforehand.
Sure.
So once the ceremony is over with, me and her will be taking some other pictures, and we want to be able to make cocktail hour, because that's like we have like some cool drinks that we have for people. We have really good appetizers for people, and we just want to like enjoy what we did, like what all we planned.
Just to enjoy. Honestly, the advice should be enjoy it. Whatever that means, just enjoy it, and don't overthink it. It's one night. You don't get it back. I say this about weddings too. This is the most amazing thing about weddings. Never in the history of the world will that same group of people ever be together again. Correct. You'll never be in a group that is that group ever again. So just enjoy each other's company and then go on your honeymoon in 3 months or whenever you leave.
Yeah. But
then we'll see you Tuesday right here on San Diego Sports 760.
And instead we'll be all crowded around one table watching the Padres-Yankees game.
That's right.
And I'll really be enjoying the moment.
Oh, Aaron, hold on.
We're going
to hold off on the cake.
Yeah, Machado's up.
4th inning.
Runner's on second base. It's the 9th inning.
Okay, we have those Brothers Osborne tickets to give away. If you have wedding advice for Jim, we'll go through some of your texts at 4:30, or you can call us 877-767-4760. Again, 70470. Start with team. But right now, do we want to get to the? Let's get to this.
Is this a must-win series for the Padres?
Well, watching the first couple innings here, I'm thinking to myself, they better freaking win this series.
I mean, the Reds are the walking wounded. Everyone is on the IL. They just lost their cleanup hitter who was hit by a pitch in the first.
The only guy I know on this team is Ellie De La Cruz.
He's good.
He's good,
Mm-hmm.
and he can carry the team. But like, come on, you got to win this series.
Have to
win this series. You lose this series, what will we be saying again? You gave away all the goodwill you just built up, taking 3 or 4 from the Braves.
Yeah, again, obviously not must, but if you look back at a season at the end of the year and it doesn't go your way, and you look at a series lost in Cincinnati when they're 3-15 over 18 games,
and they suck at home. Have you seen their numbers at home?
Terrible.
Oh my
God, they've been
God,
terrible on the road too.
They're way worse than the Padres at home. Like way worse.
I think they've lost 7 straight home games. What did Brent say? 8 straight series overall they've lost.
Yeah, 8 straight.
As a team offensively, they hit like 169 as a team at home.
No.
For the last however
7
many
games.
games. 7 games.
Yeah, it looks like 163. No, it's not a must-win series, but
it's a must-win series.
But you got to win this series, right? You got to win this.
It's a gots to win series.
Next question:
Who wins more titles, Victor Wembanyama or Caitlin Clark?
I would say Caitlin Clark. Victor, I mean,
the Fever are 0-4, dude.
I know that. We're talking about this year because this year doesn't count.
Well, this year's over for.
Does
Wemby.
the mid-season tournament count?
Right.
I'll say Caitlin Clark over her career in the WNBA will at least win 1 title. I don't know if Victor Wembanyama can win more than 1. He's a great player, but are you going to be able to build a championship-winning team in San Antonio again? Maybe. I'll say Caitlin Clark, but narrowly over with Victor.
The reason I'm saying Caitlin Clark is there are 12 WNBA teams.
That also is.
So just the math on it seems to support that she could. Stumbles the wrong word. She's a very good player. She could win 1 or 2 because there are 12 teams.
Yeah.
Where in the NBA,
it's hard.
30, it is. And again, San Antonio's track record's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of success. They've won with big men before. It's not to say they can't, but it doesn't feel like it's happening like tomorrow.
Yeah.
With the Spurs. So yeah, I'll bet on Clark. I'll bet on Clark to win maybe 1 more than Wemby in their career. That's a very tough question.
But Wemby in a couple of years, I think, will be in the discussion for best player in the NBA.
Absolutely could be. Absolutely.
He's already in, I think, the discussion as a top 10 player. He's that good.
He's playing in the Olympics, right? For Team France?
Maybe.
It's kind of cool. In Paris?
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to win a title in Paris with Team France over U.S.?
U.S. is stacked, man.
I say the answer to that is no.
Probably not.
Next question.
Will the Jets make the playoffs next season?
The Jets.
Okay, so
everyone's talking about this in San Diego.
This is literally the most random rap question we've ever had.
I'll tell you why. I got a haircut today. By the way, for your wedding. Okay.
I'm glad you showed everybody watching on YouTube.
Well, I showed you. I took my hat off.
Okay, cool.
I got a haircut. I thought about waiting it off like another day, but today's fine. And on the TV, this is called plagiarizing, essentially.
You took a question off
Pat
TV?
McAfee.
Oh my God.
I think it was McAfee, or it might have been on the bottom line or something. So, well, no, it might have been Colin Cowherd that said the Jets are either going to be an 8-9 or 9-8 team. So then I posed the question:
how can you get them confused? Team? One of them wears sleeves, one of them doesn't.
Right. So, are they going to be a playoff team? You don't know. You don't have an opinion on it?
No.
Aaron Rodgers.
No.
You'll say no, they're not a playoff team, or you don't have an opinion?
Both.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I don't think they're a playoff team. I don't have a strong opinion on it. I mean, Aaron Rodgers to me is very unlikable. He just is.
He just has become this guy that you're just like, shut up.
Like,
dude.
he just doesn't win. Like, so much of his career is based on winning a title like 15 years ago. He's been so bad in the postseason.
Like, yeah, it's just like everybody can have the right to their own opinion on anything they want, but like, I also have my opinion to tell you, like, shut up. I don't care.
Right. So I kind of hope they don't make the postseason, to be honest. Next question.
They face against the Niners week 1 in Monday Night Football
in San Fran. Who's their backup? The Jets.
It doesn't. Who cares?
Because he's going to be playing about 16 games.
They don't have one because they traded Zach Wilson to the Broncos.
Next question.
Will Jim cry at his wedding?
100%.
100% guaranteed.
Are you going to cry when I'm up there?
You
probably will with
John.
vows. You are going to, man.
I don't know.
Gosh.
I don't know.
Unbelievable.
I'll tell you this.
I'm going to have to keep it together for you guys.
I'll tell you this.
Is Aaron a quick crier?
We're gonna find out.
We're gonna find
Who's
out.
gonna cry more, you or her?
Probably her.
Have you seen Aaron cry over like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
things?
Yes.
Eagles?
No. But the two things that I like kind of have a feeling will get me will be the first look and her walking down the aisle.
Well, the first look being the first time you see her before the photos or for the photos.
Huh?
What's the first look?
Like
He's walking down the aisle. Isn't that the first look?
Well, it can be, but we are you can do multiple things. It's been a long time since you got married.
It has.
So the first look is before everyone gets there, right? And she does one with her dad, and then she'll do one with me. So like I'm standing there, like eyes closed, and she comes up to me.
She is.
And then she is, and that's like our first look.
And
right?
you start bawling.
I don't know.
But you can't do that because then if she starts crying, it messes up her makeup.
Well, here's the thing, John. Makeup's also advanced here in a couple years, so you can.
Oh, makeup is advanced since I got married. To the point that you can just bawl.
Or better yet, it's gotten to a point where you can wear makeup, and if you cry, it doesn't just go everywhere on your face.
And that's changed in the last decade.
Ask Kristen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because anytime I've ever seen Kristen cry in modern history,
They both will be wearing waterproof makeup.
Yeah.
Anyway, those are the two instances where there's a high chance that I will cry. Yes.
877-767-4760.
Not when I see you, like, because you walk down the aisle first. You know that, right? Like the order of things. I have the order of everything.
I hope so.
Of who walks down the aisle.
We're doing a walkthrough Friday morning.
Right. And you are going to be the first person that everybody sees because you are the officiant. I know, dude.
It's so funny.
And then
it could be like on my phone.
And then it's me. Like, hold on, I have an underdog play for $20. And then I believe it's me. And then it's I think my parents. And then it's the bridal party.
And then it's the who gives this woman to be wedded to this man.
And then it's Aaron. Yeah. And her mom and dad.
Dude, 877-767-4760. Very nervous. Very nervous.
Are you more nervous than I am?
Now I'm not blaming you. I found it. The reason I'm officiating this wedding, did I talk about this on air? Is because Aaron went to the Aztecs national championship game celebration at Snapdragon Stadium, and she's like, I liked John as the public address announcer.
Yeah, she loved you as the public address announcer.
So basically, if this team never plays for a national championship, Aaron never sees me at Snapdragon Stadium.
Yeah. So this is all Dutch's fault.
I'll take that trade any day of the week.
But also, like, we're friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talk a lot.
Sure.
She sees it.
She's like, yeah, I bet she does.
Yeah. As well as Kristen.
Yeah. What could you possibly be talking
about?
What
are you guys talking about so much? You text your boyfriend lately? Like, well, yeah. So that also plays a factor in it as well.
Let's go to Dave.
And also, we didn't have anybody else we thought we could think of.
That's great. That's right. So
you're our last choice.
Right, last choice. 877-767.
So that's good.
4760. Dave, you're on with Jon and Jim.
Well, first of all, to Mr. Jim, heartfelt congrats.
Thank you.
And yes, absolutely. Just, you know what, Jim, have fun.
Oh, I will.
And pray to God you only have to do this once in life.
Yes.
And just keep it in perspective.
Right.
Thanks, I can share with you personal stories off the air about my life and how it might be wise for you and things. But Brent can take my number if you want to do that. But nonetheless, just have a hell of a time and don't worry about us. We'll be fine here, rooting for the Padres over the Yankees. And if we're up 25-0, we'll be thinking of you. But having
25-0, that would be something.
Having said that, getting back to Josh Hader, look, frankly, I'm glad he's gone. I'm glad the other prima donnas that were part of this dysfunctional mess last year are gone, and that's why this team is so much more likable. I mean, you can say, well, we got a good deal from him while he's here. Look, I remember that Philadelphia series, John, when he was not available. I remember last year, critical games that this team was fighting to get into a playoff position, and it appears now he was unavailable. So, we can play what ifs and ifs and buts all we want. That's what I remember about this guy, and I'm glad he's gone. I'm glad, so far so good with Suarez. This team, John and Jim, is much more likable. Last year's team, frankly, I didn't like them. I mean, they were just a pain in the rear. I don't know how Bob Melvin made it through the year without committing, jumping off the bridge with these guys, because what a mess. And we're learning more and more about it each day. And it was just a mess to be had. And I'm glad it's over. And let's move forward.
Appreciate you, Dave. Real quick, by the way, Jim. So,
Yeah.
Padres and Reds are playing, right? It's Padres-Reds. It's not exactly Padres-Yankees.
Right, on my way.
But, so who was it? Luke Fraley is the cleanup batter for the Reds, right? And he gets Jake Fraley. Sure. Right? He gets hit. Now, they've had so many injuries, the Reds, right? We've been talking about it. David Bell lost his mind in the dugout after Jake Fraley got hit and left the game.
Why?
I guess because they've had so many injuries. I don't know if it was mad at the Padres, mad at the injuries, mad at the situation.
Retweet it, because I don't see it.
You don't see it?
No, I need to see this.
What if I just copy and paste it and send it to you?
Or you could just do that too.
He lost his mind, David Bell. He literally lost his mind. Like, he looks like a manager of a team that's 3-15.
Oh my gosh, Jerkson Profar is the best player in the history of the world. Instead,
he dropped it.
And this guy got hurt too, by the way.
Oh, great.
The Reds will have no play. They're gonna have to forfeit a game because they don't have any players. Look at this. What I sent you. I mean, the Reds have had so many injuries, and this is something that popped up when we had John Sadak on with us, voice of the Reds. Like, we've had so many injuries. This is a month ago. They just keep piling up. I mean, every single day. Every single day. David Bell's had enough of it, Jim.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I mean, they're walking wounded with a 1-0 lead on Joe Musgrove,
who's also a little bit wounded.
Right.
He's coming off a little ouchie.
He is. Just better than no.
Little ouchie. Oh, you got to catch that
Who's
ball.
catching?
Oh, come on.
Little ouchie?
Little ouchie?
We're just doing the live play-by-play. A little Padres-Reds Tuesday afternoon game, one of a 3-game set.
We're not doing play-by-play, John. That's against rules.
I know.
We're reacting.
We're reacting
which is
in real
completely
time.
different.
Right.
Which, never mind. Who cares?
Well, anyway, Padres are trailing 1-0 in Cincinnati. Joe Musgrove has really had to work through less than 2 innings. I mean, really had to work. I don't know how many pitches he's thrown, but you're probably pushing 50 in less than 2 innings. That's what it seems like. We'll get a look in a minute. But he's really had to work. I don't know if he's going to throw more than 3 innings today, Jim. Because he's going to be on a pitch count, obviously. We haven't seen him in 21 days. Something like that.
Yeah, he doesn't look sharp.
It's not throwing hard.
Not throwing hard. I think he's topped out at 93 max. I mean, he's around 92, 91.
Yeah.
A lot of breaking pitches. Has no command really as of yet. Walked in a lot of guys. If you're not concerned, I don't know what else to show you to be a little concerned, because this right here is a little concerning.
Is it rust or is it beyond that, I guess? Yeah. Like is it now? He wasn't throwing hard before the quote unquote injury this year.
No, but come on, man. This is not great.
I know. That's why I'm asking.
This is not what you wanted to see coming off an IL stint.
Base runners, long innings.
Well, not just that. Just he's not throwing hard. I mean, if he was throwing 94 like he usually throws,
was he throwing 90? I'm serious question. Was he throwing 94 plus this year consistently, or was he touching it?
He was touching it occasionally.
So he was 91, 92.
Well, still, I would think you get a couple weeks off, your velocity would go up, and it's not.
Mm-hmm.
And
no, you're right.
And so he's just going to have to go out there and just pitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he can't overpower guys. He's just going to have to be he's just have to pitch really well.
No, I agree with you. Seriously.
So,
well, it's 1-0 right now in the second inning. He is approaching 50 pitches. His next pitch will be his 48th with 2 outs in the second inning. So a ton of pitches for Joe Musgrove through less than 2 innings here today. We'll keep you updated. On the other side, your text, advice for Jim as he approaches his wedding day, his final show on Jon and Jim before getting married on Saturday. Plus, we'll give away the Brothers Osborne tickets this hour as well. Stay with us. All right, so it's late in the afternoon. You know that like hungry and tired feeling, and you're just looking for something, but you don't want to eat unhealthy and you don't want to spend money. Consider Almond RX packs, okay? It's going to curb hunger. You're going to eliminate the vending machine from your day. You're going to be eating healthier. And everyone loves a healthy, tasty snack for their family. I love it. My wife loves them. My 5-year-old son, Jones, loves them as well. You're going to get your immunity boost, your daily dose of vitamin D. Healthy, tasty, curbs hunger. Look no further than Almond RX, the first and only skinless almond fortified with vitamin D. You'll get your daily serving of 23 almonds. This company was founded by a San Diego sports medicine physician. Almond RX is packed with nutrients, supporting your heart health, cellular health, and gut health. And you can find them throughout San Diego County. Almond RX available at Foodlands in San Diego County, Harvest Ranch up at Encinitas, or at almondrx.com. That's ALMONDRX.com. In fact, go there right now, almondrx.com. You'll get free shipping on your order of $25 or more. You heard me right. Free shipping on your order of $25 or more at almondrx.com. Almond RX is going to curb your hunger. It's perfect for the on-the-go lifestyle.
This update's brought to you by the San Diego Rescue Mission. Padres and Reds, game 1 of the series. Right now, the Reds lead the Padres 2-0 at the top of the 3rd inning there in Cincinnati. And NBA tonight, Eastern Conference Finals, game 1 between the Celtics and Pacers. 5 p.m. tip-off time in Boston. Last chance, your gift to the San Diego Rescue Mission on May 31st will be matched up to $100,000. Double your impact and give hope to local men, women, and children experiencing homelessness with your gift at sdrescue.org. Help people get off the streets permanently at sdrescue.org.
Musgrove has labored through 2 innings. He's thrown 50-something pitches. I don't know if he'll throw more than 3 innings today in his return from the IL. Cincinnati has that 2-0 lead, as you just heard, through 2 innings. So game 1 of that 3-game series underway. Cincinnati leading San Diego 2-0. People have been chiming in, Jim, on the text line about your upcoming wedding.
Yeah, a lot of people.
70470, start it with team. Are there any you'd like to react to or get to right now?
619 number. Jim, make sure to tell your fiance to stop at the end of the aisle before walking down. Take a deep breath and soak in the moment. Take time coming down. Yeah, that's one thing that we've talked about. And she knows too. It's because it's gonna be hard. Like in the moment, you're not thinking about those little things, but you have to.
So she's not going to just go sprint down the aisle like the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania.
No, she's not. She is going to take her time, and try to soak it all in.
Yes, you should soak it in as well, though.
I am going to do the best I possibly can. Let's see here. 858 number. Jim, have you heard of the 3 rings at marriage? First comes the engagement ring. Second comes the wedding ring. Third comes the sufferer ring.
I like that. That's very creative.
484 number says, Jim, run to the hills. No, I'm not.
See, 858 makes a good point, Jim. Whatever teams Aaron likes will be the teams your kids like.
Nope.
So that could be very controversial. This could be very controversial.
Nope.
It depends. Who's the Niners' biggest rival?
Eagles?
Not the Eagles. Probably the Rams.
Then your kids will be Rams fans.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
What if your firstborn is like the biggest diehard Chargers fan?
Nope.
Lives in San Diego. All of his buddies love the Chargers. They're so popular here.
0% chance.
Okay.
815.
Jim Harbaugh?
No chance.
Okay.
Jim Harbaugh will not be coaching the Chargers by the time I have a child. Oh boy. 815.
I don't know if that's more of a detriment to you or Jim Harbaugh.
I got married a month ago. Advice for Jim: expect things to go wrong, but don't dwell on them. Enjoy the day and congratulations. Thank you, 815 number.
That is actually really good advice with the wedding itself. It can't be perfect because there's logistics and somebody's going to say this and the other person's going to say that. You can't worry about the little things. There's going to be little things that pop up. Oh, the mini hot dogs were cold. You guys doing mini hot dogs?
No, we're doing chicken empanadas.
Oh, the chicken empanadas had steak in them. It's okay. The world's going to keep spinning. Don't worry about the little things.
619 number from our buddy Glenn. Jim, it's Glenn Daly. I'm your man, married 3 times. Remember, quote, yes, you're right, dear. Yes, I was wrong, dear. And every day, tell her that you love her.
That's a good one. That's very good.
714 number said, take it from someone who just celebrated a 20-year anniversary. It's 100% unequivocally guaranteed all downhill from here.
No, don't say that.
By here, I mean Saturday for Jim.
No, that's not true.
No. 619 number says, Jim, congrats, man. Enjoy the hectic week. Nothing changes after that, but allow yourself to enjoy the woman you fell in love with as she walks down the aisle. Literally still think about that moment for my wife and I all the time.
I love that.
703 number says, my best advice for Jim is to not forget to eat at your wedding dinner because it will fly by so fast and you'll ignore the opportunity. Yeah, that's.
And Jim is the slowest eater in America, which means he's not going to touch it. You're not going to eat anything. I guarantee when we come in here on Tuesday, you'll be like, I didn't eat anything.
I know.
That's a guarantee.
I know. It's, yeah.
You're going to have one bite. Brent, whatever Jim, just check Jim's plate because it's going to be completely
what we're doing is
we're going to have to check Jim's blood sugar.
We're doing family style dinner. So it's
I didn't hear about this.
So this is what, hold on. You guys want to know what's for dinner?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So first up, we have a starter salad, sun-dried cranberry.
Gross.
Sun-dried cranberry caramelized walnut salad.
That sounds amazing.
With gorgonzola crumble and a house balsamic vinaigrette.
I'm all in.
The mains are a
I'm like Shilty with
marinated stuffed Gruyere cheese and Gruyere and Parmesan cheese chicken, topped with a tomato, basil, and garlic sauce.
I don't eat chicken.
I know you don't. We also have ravioli with 3 types of mushrooms filled with a white wine cream sauce.
That sounds amazing.
Brent's like, can I just get a burger? Sides, we have Yukon Gold whipped mashed potatoes with scallions and cream butter. And then we have green beans with pancetta on the side. And desserts, we have an assortment of desserts at a dessert table. And for the appetizers, we have like these chicken empanadas with like really good, like a crema sauce.
Excuse me?
Crema?
I don't know what that is. Is that the only appetizer? Or is there not a vegan appetizer?
There's also like stuffed.
It's close enough. Everything's got scallions in it.
There's stuffed mushrooms.
Okay.
And there's also like a bruschetta.
Now, is this an open bar?
Yes, it's an open bar.
I mean, like the full bar.
It's not a full bar, but it's an open bar.
Now, what's the difference?
A full bar means they can make anything.
Yeah.
And they have everything.
Okay.
Open bar means
it's free.
It's free.
Okay.
And so
Any kombucha?
No, we don't. But
yeah.
Actually, no, we don't have kombucha.
But we have beer, which is good. You have beer.
We have beer. We have like High Noons. We have Modelo's. We have like a Coors Light, and then we have tequila. We have vodka. We have bourbon. We have.
I can't wait till my part's
Diet
over.
Coke.
All I care about is my part.
I know.
I'm officiating this wedding. They walk down the aisle. Jim kisses the bride. I exit stage left, so I'm not in the photos. Yeah. Aaron made that very clear when we spoke in your house.
Very clear.
Just get out of the way.
Get the F out of the way.
Which I'm gonna forget. I'm just gonna be sitting there.
I'm like, get out.
Yeah, so I gotta move. And then after that, like I'm having the time of my life.
Good.
Because I've been thinking about this thing for longer than ever since you told me you were like dating people. I'm like, oh no, he's gonna get married one day.
He's gonna
ask me to officiate this darn wedding.
My mom is actually making like chocolate chip cookies for the wedding.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She has we have a big dessert table and we have like assorted desserts. And so she's bringing chocolate chip cookies. We have like little cupcakes and some like sugar cookies.
I love that.
Little tarts, like chocolate tarts. And so
how about this? 619 says, congrats, Jim. You're getting married on my birthday. Also was the release date of the original Star Wars. The original Star
May
Wars.
25th?
May 25th, 1977. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Oh, you got to have some lightsabers or something.
No, we're not having lightsabers.
Okay. Is there any like photo booth or anything?
There are some surprises. Yeah, there's a photo booth, really cool photo booth that you'll see and you're like, oh, it's pretty cool.
Okay, good.
And then there's also like a giant like love sign.
I like that.
Which is kind of cool for like pictures and stuff.
Now, Brent, have you decided what you're wearing to this wedding?
Oh, big question.
Clothes.
You wearing a Deadpool shirt?
Which one though?
Which one? Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to be a surprise as well.
Yes, that will be.
All right.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. So, okay, so you're off the rest of the week.
Yeah, I am off the rest of the week.
Me and Brent.
You and Brent. Good luck.
You're playing golf. You're getting ready for the wedding. You're back next Tuesday to tell us all about it.
Are you letting me go right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
4:37. You're gone.
Get out of here.
Just get out of here.
You're fine.
No, I'll stick it out.
Okay.
For you, John.
I appreciate
for
that.
you. Yes, I'm.
Because this show would be a lot harder without.
It would really be a lot harder. But yeah, we're golfing at Torrey on Thursday. Is it like looking at the schedule for this week? It's a lot, and I'm kind of like, maybe I shouldn't have golfed tomorrow. Like maybe I should have like.
I told you that.
Not done that and spent more time with Erin. But she's also going to get stuff done as well too. So like I think her nails and everything. So it's like, well,
right. So you're not going to go with her to do her nails. Why not go play golf?
Like you go. I think she's getting her makeup trial tomorrow. No, that's today. Was it hair trial today? It was either hair or makeup trial today. And tomorrow she's doing something as well. So that's when we're golfing.
Red Shoe Day, by the way, is coming up tomorrow. Okay, benefiting Ronald McDonald House Charity San Diego. Proceeds stay in San Diego, directly supporting our families. Funds raised during Red Shoe Day support lodging, meals, emotional support, and family day of services provided by the house at no additional cost to families. Our iHeart team for Red Shoe Day will be collecting donations at the intersection of Balboa Avenue and Ruffin Road, Wednesday, May 22nd, 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. On the other side, let's look ahead to the conference finals kicking off tonight in the NBA. Plus, on the other side of this break, we will give away a pair of tickets to see the Brothers Osborne at the Cal Coast Credit Union Amphitheater. This is coming up next Wednesday night, May 29th. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. We will tell you how to win. We'll give those away on the other side. Plus, we'll preview the Eastern and Western Conference Finals, one of which kicks off tonight. We're with you until 6 p.m. Stay with us on Jon and Jim. So imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt free, no credit cards, no car loan, no personal loan. Hey guys, it's Schaefer. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly with Loan Pronto's AI-based system. You can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands out of your home. You can use that money to pay off all your other loans. In fact, the average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. And listen, your home value is way up. And you can use that to wipe out all those credit cards, get some money for home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Here's the number to call. You can call right now. 619-207-4336. Again, 619-207-4336 or loanpronto.com. Again, 619-207-4336. NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender. Celtics. You've heard of them, Jim? Iconic
A couple times.
NBA franchise, all the titles.
What sport do they play?
NBA.
They play the NBA?
They play the NBA, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Do you know how many titles do you think the Celtics have, let's say, last 3 or 4 decades? Throw a number real quick.
3 or 4 decades?
Yeah, like going back to, let's say, last 37 years. Quick.
1.
It's like 16. Last 37 years.
I say 1.
Answer's 1.
Yeah.
They got 1. 2008.
Yeah.
Now, again, all
Anything is
time.
possible!
2008. Yeah. Super team.
Kevin Durant.
So,
Or no, sorry.
Paul Pierce.
Paul
Kevin
Pierce.
Kevin Garnett.
Kevin Garnett.
Right,
my
yeah,
bad.
not Kevin Durant. He wasn't on that team in 2008.
No.
He's the better
So,
Kevin.
but the point being that Boston, of course, their history is virtually unmatched. And they've got their last ring in 2008, but over the last 37 years, they have one title. It was 2008, and they're always good, but they haven't recently been getting over the hump. They're massive favorites in the series.
Yeah, too.
10-1 favorites, essentially, in the series, minus 1,000 favorites against Indiana.
10-point favorites tonight.
Huge favorites tonight. This is basically win it all or a complete and utter disaster for Celtics fans.
Yep.
That's how you have to look at this.
100%. They have been very close. I think all Celtics fans thought that 2022 was going to be the year that they finally get over that hump again. They take game 1 on the road in Golden State. They have a 3-2 series, or no, sorry, they have a 2-1 series lead. And then Steph Curry happened. And then it was disappointment. And then it was disappointment last year as well. I forget how they got bounced, but
let's just say it happened.
Did they lose to the Miami Heat? I think they lost to Miami.
Yeah, they did.
They did,
Miami
yeah.
was in the finals.
In the Eastern Conference Finals, Game 7, right?
I think that's right.
I think that's right. So if they don't, first off, if they don't get to the finals this year,
right,
they're blown. You got to blow it up. Everything's got to change. Like
really?
you keep Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Like you just got to change things. You can't keep throwing out the same team that year after year after year and hope it works. Got to get over that hump at some point. And this has to be the year for them, because if not, there should be some changes there. Like they are the prohibited favorite over everybody. I think the Mavericks would give them. I think the Mavericks or the Timberwolves would give them a good series for sure. But I mean, Celtics, they're the team that I feel like has to win.
Yeah, again, because like this is a world where not that anyone is necessarily. We get it. Like, this LeBron's not in the postseason anymore. KD's not in the postseason. Steph Curry's not in the postseason. And there's probably a reason as to why. But you got all this youth in the postseason right now. And this is set up Boston's the prohibitive favorite, not just in the Eastern Conference, but in general. So their last 2 trips to the finals, like you said, 2 years ago against the Warriors. Before that, you'd have to go all the way back to 2010 when they lost to the Lakers.
Yep.
In 2010. Before that, they had their title
Game
against
7.
the Lakers in 2008.
Yeah.
So that's their last 3 trips to the NBA Finals.
I would just be not worried, but it's one of those things where, hey, they had time off, so they could rest players. But on the flip side, sometimes when you're hot, having time off is bad. And they've been sitting around waiting for that Knicks Pacers series to end. So they haven't played in it's been almost a week.
Yeah,
especially with all the long delays. We have to go 3 days now in between every game for the playoffs, so they stretch out through July.
Well, it's good for them to rest Kristaps Porzingis, but
because he's been out, right?
Yeah. But other than that,
who has more titles, the Lakers or the Celtics?
The Boston Celtics.
Celtics.
No, they both have 17.
Okay, great.
It's a trick question.
Yeah, who has the 3rd most titles in NBA history?
The Bulls,
the Warriors.
Correct.
Yeah. They have 4 this generation, and then
there's like a couple in the 40s.
They have a couple in the
50s,
70s.
70s, yeah.
I think they have 8 overall total.
No, 7.
Oh, okay.
I remember being a Warriors fan. Okay, anyway, game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals is tonight. Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals is tomorrow night. We talked to Alan Slewa about it yesterday. Padres and Reds. We're going to give away the Brothers Osborne tickets in just a few moments. So we'll give away tickets. We'll let you know when to call. Padres and Reds. Remember, we're talking about this Atlanta series and everything was going swimmingly and the Padres are scoring runs. Well, they were shut out in game 2 yesterday, and the Padres haven't scored today against a left-handed starter. They have really been hurt by left-handed starting pitching this year. That continues here today. It's relatively early. They've overcome a lot of deficits, Jim, but they're trailing 2-0 right now in the 4th inning. Joe Musgrove went 3 innings, right?
66 pitches.
66 pitches.
Now he's in the dugout looking at film, so it's not.
I think he's going to come back in.
No, but I think that's not a like injury thing.
No, they forced him to work a ton.
But he worked a lot. He was not sharp. Didn't have great command. Defense did not help him. Said on social media.
Would you rather him leave after a really quick third inning like he did and be like, hey, I left on a positive note, or go back out there at 66 pitches? Because 66 pitches, even if he's on a pitch count, there's no way it was 66.
Well, Schulte said before game it was probably like around 75, 80.
Exactly.
I'm fine with it.
So you don't want to start the next inning with him.
Yeah, no. Coming off of an injury like this, and they might push back like, well, this wasn't an injury. This was precautionary. Okay, whatever. You had to go in the IL for it. I am not risking anything. And he labored for 3 innings, 66 pitches through 3 innings. I'm not pushing it at all. If he was like on a roll, then yeah, but no, that was tough.
Yeah, you're right. Like if it's 66 pitches and it's 4 scoreless and you're 15 pitches an inning or whatever, or 5 scoreless, 66 pitches, 5 scoreless innings, you can do 12, 13 pitches an inning. Maybe you start the next inning because you've been having so much success. But those first 2 innings were taxing. He threw over 50 pitches in 2 innings.
Final line today.
200 runs?
3 innings, 2 unearned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts.
I mean, it could have been worse, I guess. But you're asking a lot of your bullpen.
That's fine. You have a pretty rested bullpen of all things considered.
Played 2 games yesterday.
I know, but you had Brito and Gillespie give you length in game 1. And then in game 2, you got 6 from Randy Vasquez.
All right, so their bullpen's perfect. I mean, they are, though, asking a decent amount because even if you have a lead, you're going back to guys back to back.
Well,
I guess it is.
You're going to need Adrian Morejon to give you some length. Yeah,
exactly.
That's what you're asking, and he should be able to give you that. So
yeah, I would hope so. And again, we said, don't drop this series. They'd won 4 straight series. They dropped that series to Colorado.
Don't do it again, guys. Please don't do it again. I mean, it just would show the inconsistency of this team if that were to happen.
Right.
And if it doesn't happen, then it would maybe show them turning a little bit of a corner against the bad teams in baseball, where you play really good against the good teams, and all of a sudden it's like, I don't know, you like take your foot off the gas, or you're not concentrating as much. Like, I don't know what it is.
Reds, I would say, are Rockies light. I mean, the Rockies were terrible, but the Rockies have played better baseball over the last month than the Reds have, who are the worst team in baseball
than the Reds.
Yeah, I mean, the Reds are 3-15 in their last 18 games. I mean, this is the worst team in baseball today entering this series. And again, Padres have overcome deficits all year long, and they're only trailing by 2 runs. They can win this game 10-2, but they're trailing right now 2-0 in the 4th inning. Who wants 2 free tickets to see the Brothers Osborne? Caller 7, they are yours. This is for next Wednesday night at the Cal Coast Credit Union Amphitheater. Here's the number to call: 877-767-4760. 2 free tickets to caller 7 to see the Brothers Osborne at the Cal Coast Credit Union Amphitheater next Wednesday night. Great giveaway, 2 free tickets. Call right now, 877-767-4760. Again, our number. Call right now if you want them. 877-767-4760. More on the Padres Road Series in Cincinnati on the other side. Plus, if you missed our conversation with Tim Haggerty, voice of the Chihuahuas earlier, we'll play it back for you at 5:30 tonight. Hour 3, Jon and Jim is next.
This update is brought to you by Indeed.com. Padres and Reds, game 1 of their 3-game series, top of the 5th inning in Cincinnati. Reds lead the Padres 2-0. Joe Musgrove is now out of the game. He went 3 innings through 66 pitches, gave up 2 unearned runs, 3 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Moving over to NBA action, moments away from game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Celtics and the Pacers in Boston. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. And Indeed's interview tools let you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit today.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is the final hour of Jon and Jim. We're with you until 6 p.m. We do have Jim's back page coming up later
Final
this hour.
of my life as a single man.
Single man. You going out tonight?
Even though I'm not single.
You got to go out tonight. You got to live a little bit.
Here's what I'm doing tonight. I'm driving to Oceanside and going to the Airbnb that we have with her parents.
Sounds great.
Yeah, we're going out tomorrow night, though. You want to come?
Not necessarily.
Okay, you're not invited.
Where to? Maybe.
Oyster Bar?
No, I'm not just showing up. I'm not invited.
I know you aren't.
No, that's weird. I'll see you on Friday.
I was kidding. You're not invited.
Okay, that's great. A couple of things. I want to get into Joe Musgrove. We touched on it 3 innings here today. We always talk about the NFL expanding its reach overseas. You saw the story today that Australia is among a list of locations that the NFL is looking at for 2025. Australia. Here's the difference between Australia and, like, let's say the UK. Australia's really far.
Yeah,
like
I know.
all the way around the world, where logistically, I don't even know how you do it. Do you start a season in Australia a week early?
They're starting in Brazil this year
And that's like a day
Eagles.
early because it's a Friday game, but you have to start like a week early to play games in Australia. Like, that's not the
currently
UK.
in Australia. It is 10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Ooh. Plus mileage. I don't know how far that is. It's forever.
That's far.
It's like going to Korea. The Padres didn't go to Korea for like the day. They were there for like a week plus. So why are they doing this? I mean, I understand
8,162 miles.
Okay, that's far.
It's
They're
not
doing
far.
it for money, but do you really need to go to Australia to play NFL games?
No, you really don't. Now they're doing it because of the NFL wanting to have this global reach,
Sure,
and become a world game. Like, they have already conquered United States. Like, they are the number one thing in the United States, right?
Yes.
But once you kind of like, when someone becomes a millionaire, guess what you want to become? You want to become a
$2 millionaire.
You want to become like a billionaire. Like, you know, like you want to become more. And so the NFL is a cash cow. They own the states. They own all of that. Guess what they want to do? They want to become a global game. Now, you know what their competition is now globally? I know you'll disagree with me, Brent.
Let me hear.
It's soccer. They want to take over, like, NFL. They want to be bigger than soccer. It's not possible.
I was going to say,
it's not.
You're playing games in Australia, but you want to be bigger than soccer?
No, not just Australia, but everywhere, globally. They just want to become a global entity where they are going to be, or at least try to be, the number one sport in the world. When I don't think that's possible, but still.
I don't think it's about becoming the number one sport in the world, although it's a fair point. Maybe they think they will. I think it's about how do you squeeze as much out of something.
That's what I think they're
money.
trying to do.
Now,
Money, too.
but I don't think it has to do with like rivaling. Like, here's the deal. They've been in the UK for 15 years. They're never going to be as popular in soccer in the UK, but they've been in the UK for 15 years. I'm sure they're creating revenue as a result of it.
But now they're trying to do like other places as well, like Brazil, Australia.
Europe makes sense because there's like 746 million people that live in Europe.
Okay.
That's a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, no, but
Probably
also
in the
wedding.
U.S.
Australia only has 26 million.
Forget Australia.
And it's just like you're gonna go all the way out there just to try and get the Australian market. There's not bigger markets that you could just go after.
Is there going to be a point where you get too cute, or no? Can you make no wrong step if you're the NFL? For example, we talked about it last week. Are you okay with the NFL potentially one day putting its Super Bowl streaming only? Are you okay with each team playing an international game every year, which is probably the future of the NFL? Are you okay with a Super Bowl or a playoff game being played overseas?
No.
Like, these are the things that people I honestly believe are being talked about within the league.
I am totally fine with the Super Bowl going streaming only to like a Netflix or something.
Mm-hmm.
I hate if my team has to play a game in London, or I hate
regular season or postseason?
Regular season,
Okay.
or if they're playing a game in like Brazil or Australia.
Really?
I would hate that. And I would also hate if the Super Bowl
was in London
or a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be even worse, honestly.
Neutral site championship game.
Because at least, I hate
Remember
that.
they talked about that 1 year? Remember that recently with Atlanta?
It was COVID, though, right?
Yeah, but they're like, oh, this could be a precursor of things to come.
No, it wasn't COVID. It was because of a record. Oh, I know what it was. It's because of DeMar Hamlin and his injury, right? And the and the Bengals and Chiefs. Wasn't it the Bengals and the Bills, and it was the tiebreaker scenario. And if certain teams met in the playoffs, there wasn't a way to like fix the tiebreaker, so they're gonna have a neutral site AFC title game.
Something like that.
Anyway, yeah, I would hate if the Super Bowl was in a different country.
Yeah, it just feels like, again, they can't really make a misstep because they're, like you said, biggest property, but not really.
Watch them.
But I don't know. Everything that they've done, all the things, like the overreach of the commissioner's office with suspensions, to like, give me all the negative PR of the last 10 years for the NFL. Give me the massive stories, Ray Rice. Give me everything that's played out over the last 10 years. And what detriment has it been to the league is my point. Well, it's only grown.
They can get a lot of backlash. They can get a lot of people that will cover the sport that will definitely write critical articles on them.
And
exactly. The NFL doesn't care, though. Like, it's not hurting them because they don't care.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They can do no wrong.
Well,
it seems like they can do no wrong.
In their eyes, that doesn't matter. I don't think do no wrong, because that would imply that they.
Well, I'm not saying they're like right.
Like they do everything great and perfectly. Like
no, I don't think they do either. My point is there's no repercussions for the National Football League, no matter what they elect to do. I'll give you an example. They went from 16 to 17 regular season games. There's all this backlash about player safety.
Nobody cares.
Crickets.
Yeah.
They're going to go from 17 to 18, increase revenue, that percentage. Where's player safety?
They can do what they want.
They can do what they want. So again, at some point, and I like when the Padres opened in Korea. Yeah, I hated doing shows at 3 a.m. Make no mistake.
Well, you didn't really do shows because you slept.
Well, whatever. But I like a global reach. I understand trying to reach globally, but like sometimes you have to like understand that maybe you just can't fit a square in a circle. Australia doesn't fit in the calendar. I mean, I guess with a bye week.
As a fan, if you're a fan of the Padres,
yeah.
I mean, it was a cute little thing to be up at 3 a.m. on a Wednesday morning to watch the Padres.
Very cute.
And then the next day, you're like, this sucks.
Oh, the next day sucked. Doing it again?
Yeah.
That sucked.
It's like, can we cater to like the actual fans here for the teams, and instead of catering to like a country that really, honestly, probably doesn't care that much about the NFL?
Okay, so here's my overall point I always make. Like, before you go to Dublin, and Dublin's on the list, before you go to London, London's been there 15 years for the NFL, before you go to Australia, wherever else, what about San Antonio? What about San Diego? What about St. Louis?
Because that's now you're like taking markets in the U.S.
Yes.
I know.
Where the NFL is widely popular and where people consume the content every single week, in St. Louis, in San Diego, in San Antonio.
I think it's different.
Way more people are watching in San Antonio than they are in Brisbane, Australia.
Okay. How would you do that, though? Would you be like, hey, the Rams are going to play a game in San Diego?
Well, they're playing a game in the UK, to your point. If each team is playing a neutral site game, if teams are going, why can't they just go to San Antonio?
Why would you go to San Antonio? Would you go to Germany?
Because San Antonio fans, to your point.
And
it's in Texas.
I'm not thinking of how to like this point I'm trying to make, but it just doesn't. No,
so
it
as
doesn't
opposed
compare.
to appease the people that are fans, you rather just make more dollars.
I would. Well, you're saying just football fans in general.
Do you know how massive an NFL game in San Antonio would be?
Not as massive of a game as in Germany.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
San Antonio is football USA. You put an NFL game. Are you serious? Have you ever been to Texas? You don't think an NFL game in San Antonio in the Alamo Dome between the Houston Texans and the Green Bay Packers wouldn't be the biggest thing to ever hit San Antonio?
Okay, when you put it that way,
exactly. Or any game.
Not any game.
Come on.
No.
What? You're kidding.
No.
You think Sao Paulo, Brazil is a bigger game?
If you had the Texans versus the Cowboys and like you said, the Alamo Dome is still there.
Yeah.
You had them in the Alamo Dome. That makes sense because it's like in-state potential, quote unquote rivals.
So what makes sense about Jets, Jaguars in the UK?
Nothing.
Thank you.
But
defense.
Why would you put Jets, Jags in San Antonio? You wouldn't.
For the same reason you're putting it in the UK.
It makes no sense in San Antonio. The only thing that makes sense in San Antonio is your teams that you put out there, the Texans and say the Cowboys.
My point is this: if you're playing neutral site games around the world, why not play neutral site games in the U.S.?
Well, because
where the NFL is king, like you just said, and it's not elsewhere.
I'll go a step farther. It would make more sense to do San Antonio because if the NFL expands again, what's more likely? They put a franchise in San Antonio or in Brisbane, Australia?
Who wants to go to San Antonio?
That's not the point. What about San Diego? You're telling me just forget about it.
They don't have an NFL facility here.
That's not the point. That's not the point I'm making. If there were, I'm saying St. Louis has one, San Antonio has one. Do you think Brazil really has an NFL facility? They're playing in some soccer stadium.
It's better. It's something better than what they have here.
I mean, first of all, you could play NFL preseason game here if you wanted to have that conversation. And I mean, that's not my overall point. My point is before you reach elsewhere, why not kind of scratch the back of your own? Like why this is where the game is the biggest. It's never going to be soccer.
And what I mean by catering to the fans here is not just the general NFL fan, John. I'm talking about like the fans of those teams, the Eagles, basically are going to lose a home game this year because they have to play one of their home games in Brazil.
I know, but that's the new normal. Next, there's going to be 8 international games per year beginning next year.
If I'm a fan of a team and I have season tickets and I can't go to one game because one of those games is in Germany, that upsets me. But I think you're saying,
well, if the game was in San Antonio, you could go.
Well, I don't want to go to San Antonio because there's nothing there.
Okay.
So it's like,
the way they do it, though, there's the 9 road. You know, one year you got 9 home games, right? And one year you have 8.
Because of the unbalanced.
Exactly. So the 9 is when you're playing the international. So you're still getting your 8 home games.
But still, I don't know.
Yeah, it's neither here nor there.
It's whatever.
Joe Musgrove.
Who cares?
Today, 2 unearned runs in 3 innings. If you just looked at the line, you'd be like, okay, he was on the IL for 3 weeks. He didn't even allow an earned run. Maybe they're, slowly working him back in. If you watched it like we did, I watched every single pitch, so did you, right here in studio. I'm not saying it didn't look right, but it didn't look great. Low velocity, laboring through the first and second innings, got out of a runner on second and third, or maybe bases loaded 1-out spot in the first inning. I was done in by his defense a little bit in the second inning. I mean, what's our overall takeaway from 3 laborsome innings from Joe Musgrove today in Cincinnati?
I still have concerns.
Yeah, definitely.
Like what he showed today is not something that I'm like super excited about. Like, yeah, right. Joe's back. No, it kind of reassures my concerns of like, is this going to be what Joe is for the rest of this year? Is he going to put it together? And is he going to look and resemble Joe was healthy last year?
Right.
Because it's not something that you like to see when the guy comes off an IL stint and still throwing low 90s when he's a career 94, 95 guy.
So is that just the new Joe Musgrove? Is that just who he is because he had this shoulder capsule thing and now there's an elbow thing? But even this spring and earlier this year, he was never throwing hard. So is he going to have to kind of reinvent himself a little bit in the second half of his career?
I also think that's to do with the injuries, man. Right. His shoulder and his elbow. Like, there's a reason why he's not throwing hard.
Mm-hmm.
I think there has to do with a lot of his shoulder injury compensating for that and his elbow inflammation. Like, he's compensating. He's not going max because he knows that he doesn't want to get. He's like, I just want to get injured. So I'm not going to go out there and try to hit 94 and then risk an injury when I can go out there and I'm just going to, be at a 91, 92.
Just, it seems like he was overly reliant on breaking pitches today. He did strike out 3 in 3 innings. He walked 2. He threw how many pitches did you say? 66?
66.
I mean, that's a ton of pitches, obviously, in 3 innings. And you are left kind of scratching your head after that. Like, what are we supposed to expect when he pitches against whom? Is it the Yankees?
Today's what, Tuesday?
Yeah, Sunday, right?
Friday, Saturday. Yeah, Sunday.
So when he pitches Sunday against the Yankees, are you left with that warm and fuzzy feeling in your tummy? Does anyone have a warm and fuzzy feeling in their tummy? I'm talking to my 5-year-old, which is basically like,
you want a warm and fuzzy feeling in your tummy?
You want to sleep with an extra blankie, Jimmy?
Oh, Joe pitched a really good game today. Do you have that little warm fuzzy feeling deep down in your tummy?
I'm just asking, are you left with a warm and fuzzy feeling after
Who
this?
Who says that? Are you left with a warm and fuzzy feeling in your tummy after Joe Musgrove pitches on Sunday? What? Who says those things?
I do.
So he should take that out of his wedding speech.
I hope everybody's tummies are warm and fuzzy right now.
Jim and Aaron make their tummies feel warm and fuzzy for each other.
7-hour show during a 6-hour baseball game. I don't know.
It's not a 7-hour show.
I don't know. Dude, how am I supposed to do the next 3 days?
Just like how I did the entire week when you were gone.
Fair. How did you do that?
And I did a remote by myself.
I might be doing the same on Friday.
Congratulations, but did I complain about it? No.
Yes, every single day.
Did I complain about it, Brent?
No,
maybe a little bit.
A little bit.
You actually didn't. To your credit, you really didn't. You really didn't.
Because you know what, John? I knew that you haven't been on a vacation in a long time.
And I know you're not. Honestly, you're right.
And I know that this was like one of your first trips back home in a while.
5 years.
And it was a week long for you, and you haven't had a week long vacation in forever.
And
so I was like,
complain.
You know what? I'm not going to complain.
I appreciate that. Or were you not complaining because you knew that you have your wedding coming up, and then you're going to Europe for a week?
That's
it. No, I'm seriously kidding. I'm pumped for you and Aaron. You're gonna have it. I mean, this weekend. Like, think about this. You only, in theory, have one wedding. So this is a big weekend for you guys. This is a big.
No,
weekend.
this is it, dude. This is it.
I know.
That's the cool. That is the cool part. Like, I know for a fact, like, this one is like, this is it.
I know you said it day one to me.
I've been in relationships before where I'm like, I don't know about this one. Right. And nothing against the girl, but it was just like me, where it was like, I had reservations, or I was like, am I just gonna have to settle for this feeling forever? Not with her, not with Aaron. So
all right. Good. Well, we're going to learn more about the wedding on Tuesday when Jim returns from his wedding, first and only. Now, Tim Haggerty is the voice of the El Paso Chihuahuas, and we will hear from him coming up around 5:30. He joined us earlier. Something we discussed in that conversation has actually since changed. Ethan Salas, Padres' top prospect, the catcher, who's 17, will turn 18, I think we said June 1st. He's finally homered, Jim. His first home run of the season coming on May 21st for the Fort Wayne Tin Caps. He entered today hitting 190. Remember this spring when people said, is there a shot that Salas reaches the major leagues this year?
No shot.
The question has been answered.
It was answered before.
Of course it was. No need to force it. Even if this guy was hitting 390, he ain't making the big leagues. They're fine at catcher right now. They don't need him. But again, he's 17. Everyone wants something they don't have. Everyone wants the backup quarterback. Let this guy develop.
Let him develop. Honestly, I don't even want to talk about Ethan Salas as far as like him coming up to the big leagues or even entertain that. And for the next 3 years, minimum, unless he's hitting 700 down there, then maybe it will be a talking point. But guess what? He's not. And he needs a bunch of time. And this team has Luis Campusano behind the plate right now, even though his defense is a little suspect, right?
Right.
But his bat plays, and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, you got a veteran backup catcher you acquired in the Soto trade.
So
yeah, and you're right. He's 17, so he turns 18 in June. You're right. Like, let's even say next year. That means next year he turns 19 in June. Why are you promoting a 19-year-old catcher for a team that you're hoping to make the postseason?
I don't want even a 20-year-old catcher being the everyday guy behind the plate.
Right, everyday guy. Right.
Like, I just don't.
Yeah, and that would be, so a 20-year-old catcher would be in the 2026 season. So I don't think you're even really having a real discussion about him until the 2026 season.
Hold on, I'm trying to look up Adley Rutschman here.
Yeah, when he was promoted.
Right. Here we go. Adley Rutschman, when he got promoted, he was 24 years old, everybody.
No, was he really?
24.
And Salas is 17.
And guess what? He's one of the best offensive catchers in the game. He is viewed as one of the best players on the Orioles. He's going to be an all-star again this year.
So call you in 7 years. So that would be what year? When he's 24.
What, 5 years from now? No, 7 years.
That's
from now.
7. That would be 2031.
25. Well, because he's 18 this year.
Yeah.
So
five more years.
You want to hear a crazy stat, by the way?
Sure.
I'm completely stealing off of Darnay Tripp right now.
Thanks, Darnay.
Thanks, Darnay. Appreciate it. So the Padres are trailing 2-0 against the Reds. Reds had a lefty on the mound. We've talked about it. Their struggles against lefties this year. I didn't realize that it was this bad. Okay. Here are 4 guys on the Padres, big names, and what they have done against lefties this year. Ha-Seong Kim's hitting 191 versus lefties. Manny Machado's hitting 158 versus lefties. Xander Bogaerts is hitting 196 versus lefties. It's not here, but we talked about it yesterday. Jake Cronenworth, I think, is like 6 for 52 against lefties this season.
Right.
And this one is a crazy number. Fernando Tatis Jr. is hitting 140 this year off of left-handed pitchers.
Wow.
Now, I hope this information is right because it's Darnay, and I'm stealing it from you. But it was in a response to a tweet about the Padres' problems against lefties. And Darnay looked up all the numbers, and these numbers are crazy. Tatis's slugging percentage versus left-handed hitters this year, or left-handed pitchers this year.
But today he came in 140. He's 1 for 3 today.
So still, it's
150.
Not great. That is a raw bubble.
That's a huge. I mean, fortunately, you don't see near the same number of lefties as righties, but that's a big problem. I mean, that is a massive problem. All right, Tim Haggerty, voice of the Chihuahuas. He joined us earlier. If you missed that conversation, we'll catch up down on the farm with the Padres, the AAA voice of the San Diego Padres, Tim Haggerty. That's next. All right, Tim Haggerty, voice of the Padres AAA affiliate, the El Paso Chihuahuas. If you missed our conversation, we'll share it with you next.
This update is brought to you by Indeed.com. Padres-Reds, game 1 of the 3-game series. Reds to lead the Padres 2-0, bottom of the 7th inning there. Joe Musgrove in his return went 3 innings, 66 pitches, gave up 2 unearned runs, 3 strikeouts, and 2 walks. In NBA action happening right now in the Eastern Conference Finals, game 1 between the Celtics and Pacers. Celtics lead the Pacers 14-7 with 7:12 left in the first quarter in Boston. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. And Indeed's interview tools let you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit today.
All right, if you missed it earlier, we caught up with Tim Haggerty, who's the voice of the El Paso Chihuahuas AAA affiliate of the San Diego Padres. And we started the conversation by asking about the newest Chihuahua, the veteran major leaguer David Peralta.
Yeah, I've seen some long at-bats. You can tell why this guy's had so much success in the major leagues. There's numerous at-bats that he's up there for 9 or 10 pitches in just his 2 games for the Chihuahuas in Las Vegas. A really tough out. And as you guys probably have gotten into, he had really good numbers against the Padres over the years when playing for Arizona. And I was speaking to him. He was on a AAA deal with the Chicago Cubs with their affiliates in Iowa. And in recent years, veteran players like him are given more opt-out opportunities where at certain dates throughout the year, they could choose to become a free agent. And that's what happened to him. He's just striving to get back to the major leagues, whatever city that's with, and he hopes it's with the Padres.
Yeah, why do you think the Padres make sense for David Peralta? Because at the big league level right now, they're outfield with Jackson Merrill, Jurickson Profar, who's like the greatest left fielder in the game, and Fernando Tatis Jr., and they have the Jose Zokar, who is a very serviceable backup. Why do you think it makes sense for the Padres to have David Peralta?
I think that over the years, the Padres have really tried to keep some veteran depth here at AAA. I think maybe a month ago, you might say the same thing about the Padres infield. And then they got Donovan Solano, and there he is now on the major league roster. So, I look at Peralta as maybe an outfield version of Solano, maybe not somebody who's going to be a starting player for you for years to come, but maybe there's also an opening. It's a long season, 162 games. A scout brought up a point that I thought was a really good one. If you're a contending team like the Padres, if a guy like Solano or Peralta who knows if they play just 25 games for you? Well, at the end of the year, that could be the difference between a wild card spot or not. That's a job. Somebody that's going to go up there and be a capable bench player, occasional starter. It's really important to have valuable players in that spot.
Yeah, it's amazing because over the course of a year, people think, well, there's a 26-man roster. But if you add up all the players that appear on a major league team, that number far exceeds 26. A couple of guys that have already been with the Padres this year, guys like a Tom Cosgrove or a Graham Pauley, there are more. Tim Haggerty is with us right now, voice of the Padres AAA affiliate, the El Paso Chihuahuas. Let's start with Cosgrove. I know it's only been a couple of outings as well, I think, for him, maybe 3-4 innings. I don't believe he has pitched well when you just look at the numbers. What are they trying to accomplish with Tom Cosgrove right now in AAA?
Yeah, I know in the afternoons he's been working in the bullpen with the pitching coaches here in El Paso, both on his fastball and on sweeper. And the good news is, you're correct, his statistics are not good. That's based on some early appearances with El Paso where he got hit around, one of which he did not get an out in, and that really boosts up the ERA. But his most recent game in Las Vegas, he came in and he looked like the Cosgrove I saw last year. Sharp pitches, faced only 3 batters, got 2 groundouts and a strikeout. It was just a fast, 10, 11 pitch inning. It looked like he's getting back on track. And I know he struggled with San Diego this year, but as you guys know, I mean, in recent years, there have been relievers that go up and down throughout the year and pitch a lot better. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Cosgrove be back with the Padres by summertime and thriving like last year.
One player who was in El Paso this year, you're probably not going to see him again, is Jeremiah Estrada because of what he's doing at the big league level. What did you see from him down at El Paso in his time there? And, are you surprised? Are you not surprised, or are you surprised by his success right now at the big league level?
I'm not surprised. It was really fun to watch him pitch here in El Paso. The obvious thing that you see is the velocity. But in speaking to the pitching coaches here, they brought up something interesting. They were talking about carry on pitches, which is a number that you're hearing a lot more of. The way it was explained to me is, when we were kids, they used to talk about Nolan Ryan's rising fastball. Mm-hmm. But I guess scientifically, the ball isn't actually rising. What it's doing is not dropping the way most other pitchers' fastballs do. And that's what Estrada's does, is his carry is such that he'll throw a low strike that just continues carrying. It doesn't bounce. And he did that in El Paso. He got a save or 2 in El Paso. The other thing I noticed was he's a very affable, likable, almost soft-spoken guy off the air, but he looked so angry on the mound here in El Paso. I think he's somebody that, almost like a boxer walking into the ring. He takes the mound with such intensity. He didn't tell me that. That's just an observation of watching him pitch here. And I think you really want that trade out of a closer.
And what do you think that he's improved on the most? Because if you look at his numbers here, the last couple of years with Chicago and then, bouncing between the minors and the majors, it was a lot of walks, but high ERA. And in El Paso, when he was there, 20 strikeouts, 3 walks. And now at the big league level, 15 strikeouts, 4 walks, sub-1 ERA. What are some things you think he's changed over the last couple of years to make him be this high strikeout guy and what he is right now?
I think it's exactly what you said, is lowering the walks by repeating his delivery. And that's something I know the Padres organization is really focused on here. Pitchers' strikeout to walk ratio. You've heard players talk about that here. That's their goal. The Pacific Coast League, there's no secret. There's a lot of high elevated parks. Fly balls carry farther here than various other parks in different parts of the country. And so with that, are you giving up a solo home run, or is it a 2-run or a 3-run home run? And the Padres have told the pitchers that they really want to limit the walks. And if you see somebody like Logan Gillespie, he is not walking players in AAA. As I glance at it, John, he has just 3 walks and 13 AAA innings compared to 11 strikeouts. And he's been called up twice. He's somebody that is now on speed dial for the Padres. And I think that's related. He's not walking hitters, and he's gone up there and gotten opportunities.
Tim Haggerty with us right now, AAA voice of the Padres, the El Paso Chihuahuas. Another name Padres fans are familiar with because he started the year in the major leagues is Graham Pauley. How has Pauley played since being sent down?
Very good. He's kind of the opposite of what we're talking about with pitchers not walking. He walks a lot as a hitter. His batting average is .265, which is solid. But then you look at the on-base percentage, it's .422. He has walked 19 times and struck out only 12 times. And he told me, even dating back to college baseball, that was his goal, was to walk more than he struck out, which hitters usually don't do, but he does. So he's also, it seems, a very relaxed, positive person, which is an important trait to have in his job. He's already gone up and down numerous times. It seems that players, I think, have a better mindset if they just accept that they might be sent back down to El Paso when they go up to the majors. Matthew Batten seems to have handled that really well the past 3 seasons. You know, it's not a lack of confidence or anything, but it's just a knowledge of your current placement on the roster, realizing they might not be there for years if they get called up. Obviously, they hope someday that that's the case, but in accepting of the situation and playing your best, whether it's in AAA or the majors.
You never saw him at El Paso, but Jackson Merrill, as a 21-year-old, is doing things that are, I think, exceeding expectations of everybody in this organization. From the what you've seen of him at the big league level, and I know you're busy with El Paso, but what you've seen of him, what do you make of Jackson Merrill's start to his young career?
I am with you. I think at the beginning of spring training, when they said that he could be on the opening day roster as an outfielder, a spot he had barely played before, I was a little bit startled, but it shows that they made the right call on this. Not just the way he plays, but I'm hearing comments from players that he's so competitive. He wants to win. It's almost like I get the vibe he's becoming a leader in his early 20s of a major league team. I didn't hear that word leader, but just kind of the vibe I get that almost the way when he does his post-game interviews, it's like the focus just is so much on winning that day's game that I think sometimes younger players might focus on their own statistics for job security, but it seems like he just gets that. It's almost like he speaks like a veteran player does, if you know what I mean.
Tim, real quick before you go, and I know you're not watching him because you're calling AAA games, but he's in single A, but I'm sure you're aware of what's going on in the organization. Ethan Salas, obviously super young, has not homered in single A Fort Wayne, is hitting 190. He has an OPS that's below 600. Are you hearing anything about Ethan Salas and the way his first half of the season is transpiring right now?
Yeah, I keep an eye on all the affiliates, and I know he's not getting as many hits as maybe people projected. But it's funny over the years, and Merrill's an example of that, actually. I think he got off to a bad start at Fort Wayne. Especially somebody like Ethan Salas, who's not from a cold weather place. Check out some of Fort Wayne's opening pitch temperatures. I mean, they began the season up in Michigan, and the temperatures are in the 30s. That's not to make an excuse, but that's hard to hit in those conditions. So I would suspect by summertime he'll be hitting better. And I think for Padres fans, don't panic on that. Major League All-Star teams are full of people that had bumps in the minor leagues. I mean, the most famous example is Derek Jeter, if you look at some of his stats, both defensively and offensively, and now he's in the Hall of Fame. So, I think that, maybe if it's September and he's still batting 190, then that would be more of a surprise. But with what he did last year, reaching Double-A at such a young age shows his natural ability.
No doubt. Of course, Derek Jeter infamously had 56 errors in his first season, I think, in minor league baseball. 56 went on to be, Derek Jeter. Tim, always appreciate it, man. Have a great call tonight. Hopefully we can do it again next month at some point in June. And thanks for joining us here in San Diego.
Sounds great. Thanks, John.
All right, Tim Haggerty, voice of the Chihuahuas. He joined us
Tim.
earlier today. Wait, wow, so...
I don't think he knew that I was a part of that interview.
That's nobody knows you ever interview anyone.
Like, oh, thanks, John.
A lot of people just think people think it's Jon and Jim that listen to us, but I think our guests just assume it's Jon.
I have a theory.
He called me by a different name too.
People think we sound the same?
No. When you text people, do you say, come on our show, Jon and Jim?
Or do you say, come on my show?
Right. There we go.
Here, let me see what I wrote Tim. Hold on.
Hey, you want to come on my show?
I just copied it. Hold on. Hi, Tim. I hope you're doing well. Any chance you could join us at 4:30 or 5 MST today?
Okay, well, us is implied, maybe a different term of
What do you want to say? Join Jon and Jim, 2-time San Diego Union Tribune, sports talk show of the year with John Schaefer and Jim Russell.
Yeah, maybe.
That to me is a little intimidating for the guests.
Or just say,
hey, Tim, you want to hop on?
Hey, you want to join me and Jim today?
Jim's back page is nice. Jim's back page is next. All right, Jim's back page for a final time this week.
I hate you.
He'll be getting married on Saturday.
This guy during the break is asking me like,
no. I'm just asking about your future.
he's like, so kids, when did it happen?
I think it's a reasonable
I'm like,
conversation to
John,
have. We're getting
I'm
married.
just trying to get through Saturday here. Like we're like, it's not something that's being talked about.
Who
really.
asks about kids before the wedding? I do.
You are asking about like stuff that's
Yeah,
going to be like
kids.
years down the road.
I was asking a nice question. Do you want children? I don't know.
Oh, so now we have. Yes, we've talked about it. Just because we're not technically married yet, we haven't talked about it. But it's not something that we're like even thinking about this much. Jeez,
You're mad at me.
I'm not mad at you. But you're like, so what are you gonna do? And then I'm like, well, her family doesn't live here, and you're like, so.
I'm done with
And
this
it's a long conversation.
All right, so tomorrow we're gonna have Brent's back page. Tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday.
Yep.
Let's get to it.
So Deadpool and Wolverine, John.
Mhm.
Tickets went on sale yesterday.
For which one? Both of them? They put tickets on sale for 2 movies. What are you gonna see first?
Man, do you want him to come back on Tuesday?
Are you gonna see Deadpool or are you gonna see Wolverine?
Deadpool and Wolverine.
It's the same
I
movie,
get-
John.
The name of the movie is Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yes, that's the name of the movie.
Let me look it up.
Deadpool and Wolverine. The name of the freaking movie.
What kind of name is that? Bert
That's it.
and Ernie. I like Bert versus Ernie. Versus.
It's a movie title that will probably be one of the highest grossing movies in the MCU history.
Fine, I take it back.
Broke Fandango's first day ticket sales record for 2024. The film is also the best first day pre-seller from the Deadpool franchise.
Is this Marvel or the other thing?
It's Marvel.
Okay. You like that question?
What other thing are you referring to?
The one that's not as good as Marvel you guys talk about.
The DCU?
Right.
Well, the DCU is rebooted and they're coming out with a new like cinematic universe. So we'll see.
Okay.
With James Gunn spearheading that project.
So why is this bigger than?
I can't even. Okay. I'm going to explain it to you like you're Jones.
Okay.
All right. Let me see if I can do it. Actually, I can't do it.
Give you a warm and fuzzy feeling in your tummy?
You want a warm and fuzzy feeling in your tummy? Deadpool.
Jones would be like if Bluey and Thomas the Train Engine were in the same movie.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Are they friends or enemies?
They're frenemies.
They'll be both.
Okay.
So there you go.
Are you excited, Brent?
Dude,
Yeah.
it's our most anticipated movie of the year, right?
Really?
It's
Yes.
one easily. No questions asked.
July's going to be awesome.
July's going to be
between college
fantastic.
football coming out on the 16th and then Deadpool and Wolverines like the following week or a week and a half later.
And and there's more than that, Brent. I know you don't have
And
all
my
the
birthday's in July.
and his birthday's in July.
Birthday, huge.
So we got Brent's birthday, we got Deadpool Wolverine, we got college football video game. We have season 2 of House of the Dragon.
Comic-Con?
Comic-Con.
Is that July or August?
That's in
July.
July. We also have The Boys season 2. Oh, that might be in June, but still it'll be going on. So The Boys season 4. We'll have we'll be in the middle of Star Wars Acolyte. Dude.
What
Next-
about Mean Girls? Came out this year. I'm just looking at the most anticipated. Argyle? All right, continue.
Buffalo Wild Wings
Madam
is
Web?
offering
All three of those are all flops.
horrible movies. Buffalo Wild Wings is offering an all-you-can-eat deal. Quote, the please don't bankrupt us deal. The company recently announced that it is offering an all-you-can-eat deal on boneless wings and fries for $19.99.
All you can eat.
The deal is only available to dine-in customers every Monday and Wednesday for a limited time.
I was going to say Sunday during football season.
Well, I was just going to say it has to be dying. And how are they going to do carry out? They're just going to keep
Yeah,
coming
give me
back to my
everything.
house with more wings.
That would be amazing during a college football Saturday or an NFL Sunday.
Oh,
right?
my
Because you could be there 8, 10,
God.
12 hours. You got all the slate. Now, Monday, yeah, you got I mean,
Monday
what time
football?
of year? Is it Monday summer or is it Monday once we get back into football?
So it says here that the deal, John, is available to
summer.
only one person per order. Sharing is highly prohibited and will
Highly.
void the offer.
Okay.
The company said, adding that any leftovers may not be repackaged
Right.
for to go.
Okay.
Um,
That's a good deal, I think.
yeah, there's not a time on this. There's no like date they're doing this for.
Well, I'm
but
thinking Monday Night Football. You show up early, you hang out for 4 or 5 hours.
they put on Instagram, the Buffalo Wild Wings put on Instagram a picture of the deal with the caption, "Please don't bankrupt us."
I think it's a good promotion.
I think it's a great
It's
promotion.
a good deal.
Yeah.
Please don't Red Lobster us.
Right.
Seriously. And McDonald's, John, is offering free McNuggets deal for one day only.
Saturday?
This week, McDonald's is giving away chicken nuggets. Tomorrow, May 22nd, McDonald's is giving away a free 6-piece chicken McNuggets when you order through the McDonald's app. The offer is valid for one day only at participating restaurants across the U.S. To get the free nuggets, download the app, join McDonald's Rewards. No purchase is necessary, and you can add your favorite dipping sauces to the order.
What do you think about that, Brent? Is that something you would take advantage of? You
Free
download the app, you get
chicken
free
nuggets.
chicken nuggets tomorrow?
Yeah.
How many nuggets?
6.
6? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can keep going back. It's just-
No.
Oh, they know within the app. You can't
Yeah,
like,
they can tell.
Yeah, you get to show them the app.
you can't
I'm
delete
sure.
the app.
No.
It's just like how you can't have multiple Netflixes under like
Right.
the same email.
Right.
Yeah. So there you go.
That's it. For Jim the single.
Boom.
There's going to be 2 versions of the show. There was Jon and Jim when Jim wasn't married, and then there's going to be Jon and Jim when Jim was married.
It's gonna be like when they put AD and stuff after the time.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. That's exactly right, Brent. Thank
AD.
you. So they'll always be
After AJM, after Jim's marriage.
after Jim's wedding. AJW. There'll always be that first 2-year run.
BJW.
Fitting that you're going to be. That's how you would end your final show as a single man.
How you doing?
Oh, Lord. All right. Well, we will have you covered this weekend. I mean, not San Diego's 760.
But with my wedding.
Yeah, we'll have the full recap.
Oh,
I mean,
for
we have all
sure.
the angles. We got Jim who's getting married.
Social media will be everywhere.
Am I allowed to tweet from you then?
Of course.
Okay. Like
There's
to
no
follow us.
restrictions.
At Jim Russell
Breaking
ST.
news, I'm married.
Yes. Oh, boy. All right.
Stay safe, everybody.
Here's the thing. I'll be back tomorrow at 3 p.m.
I
We'll
won't.
get you ready for Padres and Reds. Join me tonight for a wrap-up show on YouTube. Jim's playing golf or something.
No, I'm not.
All right, if you missed anything, sports.com, iHeartRadio app, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, or Spotify, leave a review. If you're listening to the podcast, for Brent, for the Jim, a final time as a single man. Whatever that even means. I'm John. Have a great week.
I'll see you on the other side, everybody.